Alright, welcome to the Dave's Had Enough Show, episode 61. How's it going, Levon?
Thank you for having me. I'm ready for a discussion.
Alright, you sound ready and energized. Alright, how's it going, King Rapachi?
What's up? Ready to have a good discussion.
Alright, glad to have you both, you and Levon. And how's it going, Old Dirty?
What's up, fellas? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dirty, and I was lucky enough to get a dev kit for the NX from Nintendo.
Oh, you got it early? And,
Yep.
and what kind of rumors can you give us?
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm just starting to mess around with it, the ins and outs of it. So,
Okay, so it's all new still.
yeah,
But you'll have a full review by tomorrow about it, right?
yeah. Give me a couple hours. I should have a full
Okay.
review. My first impression.
Well, I guess we'll start the podcast with that. And I didn't want to bring this up because I listened to a video before that we started this podcast, just seeing what people are talking about. And I'm sure they're all talking about the same thing because usually when there's a topic, it's the same fucking thing when it comes to Nintendo. And it's all rumors, from my opinion, that we have already heard about for a while now. You know, the last bit of rumors, it just seems like people just now are repeating the last bit of rumors we got like it's something new. This is nothing new, that there's dev kits going around to these developers and they're, then things going to be more powerful, I hear sometimes, and it's less powerful. It always changes. That's going to be a hybrid, and, it's going to make your toast for you in the morning. But yeah, what do you think about these new rumors, King Rapachi?
They sound like the old rumors.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's nothing really new going on. Like I said last time, I don't even think about the NX. It's a wait and see thing. Just waiting for them to talk about it, tell us what it's about, and that's it.
Do you think, though, the reason why there's so many rumors going around is because there's really nothing to talk about when it comes to Nintendo, and people are just hungry for news?
I don't necessarily know if that's the case. It may just be that certain places are hearing these rumors for the first time, and now they want to talk about it or something, or maybe they're, because I heard the new rumors and they sound like the old ones, but kind of like slightly like different. Maybe that's, Nintendo, no matter what Nintendo does and no matter what position Nintendo is in, even if they're like considered the weakest selling console, whatever, they're still a big brand. They're still popular in gaming. So anything Nintendo will be talked about for the most part. So it's
Yeah.
not a surprise.
Yeah, I'm just not shocked by any of these rumors because it's all the stuff we've been hearing. It's a constant rinse and repeat. What about you, Levon? Are you happy about these new NX rumors that we heard from last month?
I still think it's gonna be a hybrid. That's all that's all I'm gonna say. That's what I think. It's still gonna be hybrid. That's just me. Oh, hey Thanos. But that's what I think. It's still gonna be hybrid.
Okay, so you still think it's going to be a hybrid.
Yes.
But did you hear where did these new rumors come from, Levon? You said you've seen, what is it? You said
Where did I see him?
yeah. Where did this new bit of rumors that we've heard from last month? Where did the new website post them?
Techno Buffalo.
Okay, so that's what they're making it sound like these are new rumors, but they're just rumors that we've been hearing.
It's
Um,
rumored to replace both.
You said something about Wall Street. That's what you kind of threw me off on when you said that.
Yeah, that's where I heard it from as well.
Okay, so they're reporting NX rumors at Wall Street now.
Wall Street Journal or something.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right. Well. Oh, you must be having technical difficulties. What about you, Old Dirty? What do you think on this whole these new rumors or old rumors that are new for the NX?
Well, I think it could be just rumors, you know what I'm saying? But it's this big article in, Wall Street Journal that, apparently got some inside scoop on some of the stuff that's going on with this NX. So, I mean, it could be rumors, it could be true, but you know, we should start seeing a lot of rumors coming out now for that NX into, you know, E3.
Well, you see, you got some people now saying it's going to be 2017 when the NX comes out. I'm sticking with my original thing I went with was 2016 holiday. I think they're releasing it then. But now you got people thinking 2017. I heard a lot of people were saying, 2016 or later. There were some of them saying 2018, are now saying 2017. I do not see the Wii U continuing much longer. I don't. I'm sorry. I just can't see it with what they're doing with it. Like I said earlier, too, I want to say this will be the next topic, so I won't even go there yet. But Thanos, what is your thoughts on these? I don't even know if you heard them, but basically you probably did because these are just rumors that we've been hearing for months. There's this new website that this website that posted these rumors are acting like it's new. It's just the same shit. What's your thoughts on the NX rumors, all the ones you've heard, and if you have heard the new ones today, which are basically the same thing about the dev kits that they're, giving out for the Nintendo NX to, like, last month, I think 2 months ago, they were reporting that they gave them to EA and a couple other developers, and they got some good feedback. What's your thoughts?
It's just too damn early to say anything, Dave. I mean, nothing's official. I mean, we still got over 18 months before anything will probably most likely surface.
Do you think they're just hungry for Nintendo news? That's why we're hearing so much stuff, because there's really nothing going on with Nintendo right now but Amiibos.
I think so, man. I mean, besides VR and the Oculus Rift, Nintendo NX would probably be the only thing hardware-wise would be exciting to hear about. So, and damn, I've been gaming for almost 3 decades. So Nintendo's been one of the most difficult companies to predict. Just when you think you got them all figured out, they throw a curveball. So I don't know. It's too early. It's too early to say anything, man. It really is. I think they're just gonna. The Wii U is pretty much done. It's pretty much done. They got their year and a half of lineup titles, and everything else is being developed for the NX. So everything's R&D on the NX right now.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, this brings me to my next topic, which is to do with Nintendo, which I originally had planned before I heard about these NX rumors again today. I saw videos posted by some YouTubers, and then Levon brought it up, so I figured I'd cover it. What the hell? I didn't go in deep about it because I really from what it sounded like, the video I listened to, it sounded like the same shit that we've been hearing over and over and over.
Yeah.
But this is a topic that I do find interesting with the PlayStation 4 price drop. It now is at $349.99. That's a permanent price drop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you look at the Wii U now, you got the Wii U at $300 for $50 more. You can either have an Xbox One or a PS4, the system of choice by many. I hate to say it like that. I know a lot of people don't like that, but the PS4 is the console to have by a lot of people. That, in their eyes, that is the one that is selling the most. So you got the hottest item for $50 more. What would entice people to buy a Wii U? Do you not think that this thing needs a price drop? And I watched that video by Furious Francis where you commented, King Grimpachi, and what he's saying in the video, he said his whole stance with it in his defense is basically he's saying, oh well, you can go to Nintendo's website and get it for $200, but to the casual audience, they don't look on Nintendo's website. There's a big difference from Nintendo putting a refurbished console for $200 on a Wii U on their website versus walking into a Walmart, a GameStop, a Target and seeing it for fucking $200. There's a big difference there. Most people would never think to go to Nintendo. Only like the hardcore gamer, usually does something like that. What's your thoughts, King Grimpachi?
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the comments, I felt that even if it was just for the holiday season, they should drop the price $50, maybe $100 for the Wii U. His argument was kind of like, well, they wouldn't make any money, and I had to ask, he admitted that he doesn't know if they won't. He was saying they won't make money, but then when I asked him, well, how would you know that? Like, how much does it cost to make these things? I don't know, and it's not common knowledge. You can't just look it up.
Well,
He's like,
Furious
I don't know.
Francis, he worked for Nintendo, in the warehouse before I heard.
Well, he still said he didn't know how much it costs.
He helped design it.
He said he didn't know, like, he didn't really know for a fact they would lose money, but he was saying they were. But just to compete, yeah, and like you're right, like I didn't really want to bring that up when I was talking to him about I don't remember if I did bring it up or not, but I felt it was kind of like it was common sense, so I didn't even bring it up. Was like when I say it should have a price drop, that's for the person that still doesn't know a Wii U exists. Let's not pretend that during this holiday season there are people who don't have a lot of money, and people go for the cheaper things. You go see a Wii U for $200. You don't have to know what the fuck a Wii U is. Some parents go in $200 for whatever this thing is. We're about to figure it out. We're about to find out what this is. Oh, Mario's on the box. I know who Mario is. Yeah, that'll work out. They'll be willing to buy it. And I ain't like nobody. Like, first of all, remember it's the holiday season. Some people get these things, but the average person doesn't want a refurbished console for Christmas. Like, they will rather have a new system. So that's why I was saying it should drop. But everybody else has different opinions.
I just noticed he stuck with his guns. He's like, well, you can go to the website, but that's not the case. There's a lot of people still aren't really into the whole internet deal too. A lot of your casuals want to go to a fucking store and pick up a console. I'm even like that. I don't like buying shit off the internet. I don't look for shit on the internet. I just now got interested in Amazon. I'm a person that likes to go to the store and see shit for myself right there. I don't like to look in a picture, and a lot of people are like that. So they avoid the internet on buying shit. And I think they would do a lot better with it even 250 be good, but I think it needs to be 200. I mean, I don't think you have the best selling console, and the Xbox One's good too. For $50 more, it has to drop. I think it needs to be $200. It don't have half the features these other consoles have. They don't have half the fucking games these consoles have. It's missing a lot of shit. What about you, Thanos? What about on that whole price drop?
I don't know. I'm over here contemplating. Is Nintendo really known for dropping their consoles? I mean, the price of their consoles, what, in 2.5 years, 3 years? Are they grim? I can't remember. Or do they usually leave them up for a long time?
Well, Nintendo. But one thing with their games, you never notice Nintendo never really drops the price in their games. Like Pikmin 3 still at like $50-$60. Like,
yeah.
So they're not too keen on dropping their price. But with this, a lot of people always seem to forget Nintendo's in a fucking bad situation, a really bad situation. They never got themselves. I would say the thing that they got closest to the situation when it comes to home consoles would be the GameCube. But the only other thing I think that was this bad was the Virtual Boy. When it comes to Nintendo.
Yeah, because didn't Nintendo say? Remember early on that they were supposed to, during the Wii U lifespan, generate what, $9 billion in profit?
Yeah, I think you did say something.
And then they didn't come nowhere near that, or $9 million, or 9 million consoles sold, and then they just kept lowering. Yeah, it was 9 million consoles they were supposed to sell in the first year, and it didn't even come, not even close. So maybe they're leaving the price of the Wii U to make up for some of that loss, or because they couldn't predict it. They thought it was going to sell a lot better. But it's most likely the last year and a half, maybe two. So maybe it's time for them to knock down the price so they can get rid of as many Wii U's as possible. I don't know. Sony's doing it. Maybe Nintendo will be like, hey, we got to do something, because the fucking software's ain't there. I mean, what do they got? What do they got for the holidays? I mean,
Devil's Third, Mario Tennis Ultra.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh, Yoshi?
You got that Yoshi Billy World that came out today.
He's not gonna move. If Mario can't move units, no other icon of Nintendo can. No other icon. Maybe Zelda, but we all know that shit ain't coming out.
They got Snoopy.
And Metroid.
They got that Snoopy game that's coming on Wii U.
Yeah, if Mario can't save the Wii U, none of their characters can.
Also, guys, Wiggy Gaming and League of Winning, I'm trying to get you guys in the podcast. Wiggy Gaming, you're going to have to accept my invite on Google Plus to actually accept my invite, to even get an invitation, because that's how Google Hangouts work. So I'm going to send you an invite, like a friend's invite. I thought I already had you as a friends, but League of Winning, I don't know why yours isn't going through. I have no clue.
But before we continue on, I'm doing a little shopping right now. How good was Dragon Age Inquisition?
I just got it yesterday.
It's on sale for like $24 on PC. I was trying to see if it was good.
Well, that ain't bad.
Yeah, I just got it yesterday.
I never played it. I never got to play it yet. I have it. I picked it up on sale. That's why I never got around to it.
I was gonna buy Hardline, but it looks like the community's dead on PC, and I was like, might get Titanfall. Yeah, it's like 1,000 people online or some shit.
That's like shit. That was faster than fucking Killzone.
All right, I followed you, Wiggy, and I got you under friends. You'll just have to accept the the circles to my circles thing, and then once you accept that, I'm gonna send you an invite. Then it'll let me send you an invite, and then you should be good. Now, League of Winning, I'm sending you an invitation to League of Winning. I don't know why you're not getting it. Sometimes this stuff happens with Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta wait. Sometimes you gotta check your Google Plus page too, and sometimes it takes a while to pop up there. But yeah.
Look at a Humble Bundle. There's a huge charity thing going on right now.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Humble.
You got to come with us, Dave. You got to get on the PC side of things.
Yeah, it's just more money to spend. I mean, I spent so much money this year just in gaming. Like, dude, I bought tons of fucking games. This ain't. I bought physical games and digital. You know, I think I have more digital. But, I mean, it gets ridiculous after a while. Like, just keep buying games. This is like some of the ones recently. You know, I mean, come on. You know, it gets ridiculous after a while. It's crazy. You know, I don't know. I can't keep buying. I mean, just buying games. But I am interested in the PC thing. But if I didn't get an Xbox One, I probably would have just put that money I spent on games and that towards it. But people have me thinking you have to spend like $1,000 for a gaming PC, and then that's what they have me like for a decent one. And then Grimpachi and you told me a different story. So okay, we're still on this Nintendo Wii U thing. What do you think, Old Dirty? Do you think it needs a price drop?
Yeah, it needed a price drop back in E3. Like the whole thing with Furious Francis, I'm gonna put it to y'all like this. I don't know if Nintendo needs to drop the price. I don't think it needs to be at $250. I really think it needs to be at this point $199. Okay, make it $199. And if you're losing on every console that you sell, who cares? Because the Wii U has failed. So who cares about that? But what you can do is make up what you losing on your software. And how you would do that? By newcomers, by people that don't want to spend $300 on a Wii U. You know what I'm saying? Just like Grim. Grim on another one. But I'm sure Grim will run out if Nintendo dropped the price to $199. So guess what? Grim got a Wii U. Now he got even more money to spend on other games. You know what I'm saying? So just think 10 people that walked in the store, looked at a Wii U, and said, nah, I can't spend $300 on a Wii U. It really has no third party.
Oh, Dirty, are you saying $199 without games or with 1 or 2 games in the box?
You know what? Nintendo can do it. If they want to do it with 1 game in the box, that's fine, but they don't have to do it with a game in there for $199. They don't.
Okay.
So with those 10 people that came into Best Buy, looked at the Wii U, passed it up, say 3 of them actually brought a Wii U for $300. Now, if Nintendo drops that to $199, those exact same 10 people that looked at it and walked away, well, those 7, guess what? Now they're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy a Wii U now because I was on the fence, but I didn't want to pay $300. So with the people that brought the Wii U for $199 that was willing to spend $300. Guess what? Now they buying accessories. They buying a Pro controller. They got some money in Nintendo pocket. They buying first party titles, Splatoon, what else? Pikmin and Donkey Kong, Mario 3D World. They're buying their first party exclusive now. So Nintendo is making up whatever they lost. If they're going to lose by dropping this price, they're going to gain it in sales. And plus, they're going to move a little more Wii U's off the shelf. Because when during this holiday, people are going to look and be like, oh shit, the Wii U $199? You know what? Since I'm getting an Xbox One or PS4, you know what? I got an extra $200. I go ahead and get it. $200 ain't nothing.
Then no dirty. $199 for Black Friday, and then jack up the price back up by the holiday, or jack it down to $199 and keep it through the Black Friday all the way through the holiday season.
No, drop it down to $199 and just keep it period until the NX come out.
You mean permanent?
Wow.
Yes. Because you got to look at it. Okay, this holiday season, the biggest title that's going to hit is Xenoblade X.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest. That's beginning of December.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for Christmas. Okay, what do we have for January, February, March, April, May, June, July? It's only 3 games that I know of that I can think on the top of my head that's been pushed back to next year. And that's it.
Well, you
And
think
then
of
right
it like
after that,
this.
right around the corner is E3.
See,
Yeah, but at this E3, I think Nintendo is going to focus more on the NX because people want to know what it is, and is there going to be third party? Nintendo can't mess this E3 up. They cannot mess it up. If Nintendo doesn't have any games to show, start throwing out titles. People will get hyped just by you naming titles. You don't have to have a trailer. If you want to make a CG trailer, that's fine. But people get hyped when you start mentioning games or you showing trailers of games for a new console. If you go Microsoft way by just talking about TV, people are going to be like, what the hell Microsoft on? And they're going to do the same thing with Nintendo. But if Nintendo come this E3, come out the gate swinging, hey, we got a new Mario Galaxy 3. Hey, we got Pikmin 4. You thought it was going to be on the Wii, it's going to be on the NX. We got the new Zelda coming on the NX. We got a Metroid in development. When they start saying these names, people's going to start, oh shit, they bringing all this, and then third party starts showing the exact same games that's on the Xbox One and PS4, showing them on the Wii U.
Well,
I think the NX,
I'm with Dave, man.
the NX do much better than the Wii U. Can sell much better.
If they're gonna do 2017 or late 2016 with the NX, then they have to show something at E3. They have to. That's not even a question.
What they need to show at E3 is whatever the next Call of Duty is going to be. And they need to show like NX version of Destiny.
The NX version of Destiny, really.
Third party? You guys think they're gonna do something with third party?
The reason, if you guys are talking about pure, like if you guys are just talking about the NX selling really well, it's going to need the games that everybody plays. It needs Madden, it needs 2K basketball, it needs the average game that the average gamer will go buy. If you're talking about sales. Now, if you're talking about just having a great system, I mean, as long as it got the good Nintendo games and they come out at a frequent pace, that's that'll be fine, at least for me. But if you're talking about just sales, Nintendo, it would do them best if they had the games on their platform that everybody plays, which is the Destiny, the 2Ks, the CODs, the Maddens.
I don't know, Dave. This is a tough topic.
No, well, it really isn't. Because what Nintendo can do, because they got the money to do this, and they fucked up, so they gotta take this loss. That's why I'm saying it too. Nintendo has the money to fuck up and say, hey, drop the price to $200, call it a fucking day till the NX comes out. They can do that. Sony couldn't do something like that. Nintendo has this money to do that. I don't want to hear, oh, Nintendo can't do that. That would cost them a lot of money. Oh well, they fucked up big. They can do the money. You hear all these people say, oh, Nintendo could fuck up every generation, go on forever. You know, you hear that all the time. Well, they can fuck up this time like they did and fucking sell the console for $200. So you got the world so fucking greedy now. You got companies like Walmart that they did a whole thing on, you know, on the whole on the debate thing with Hillary Clinton and all them for the
Oh yeah.
Democrats. How they showed the Walmart people not getting, you know, insurance and everything. Walmart's one of the richest companies in the world, and they can't give their workers fucking insurance. That's bullshit. You know, it's like these companies say they never have any money. You know, fuck them. Microsoft has money, and so does Nintendo. Now, Sony, they had money, but not as much as they used to. You know, they still can get money. You know, they borrow from they borrow from their fucking, you know, their government. They do all that shit. You know, I don't listen to these companies for nothing. I don't feel sorry for Nintendo. They've made a boatload of money, and they can give back if they, you know, in my opinion, they can give back to the fucking fans for fucking up. You know, they got to make things right. Their image right now is no good. I don't even know, in my opinion, if they even have third party in their pocket to even if they made a powerful system to have Destiny on, would Bungie even or Activision want anything to do with them like that? They like making amiibos.
That's what I was gonna say. I think a lot of third parties are gonna sit back and they're gonna take this wait and see approach.
Yeah, nobody's gonna develop. These developers aren't gonna waste money developing games for the fucking new Nintendo or Wii U when what happened with pay. And people act like this is a thing that just happened with Nintendo. This has been going on for generations. Their fucking third party games hardly ever fucking sell.
Unless they start doing what third party says, then otherwise
Levon, this has been said for years. This ain't just going on this generation. I remember this shit back with the N64. Why people were not noticing certain games on their console we saw on other consoles. You know?
The reason is not going to. They're not going to sell very well on Nintendo's platform is people don't understand that Sony and Microsoft from time to time pay to advertise games. That you know, sometimes we see a game that's a multi-plat, but it's just a PlayStation. It's just showing the PlayStation copy. That most of the time is advertised by the console manufacturer. Nintendo's not going to do that unless it's something they own. They're not going to do any of that. They're not going to advertise and stuff like that for other people's stuff.
Well, Grim. Okay, so you got Sony and Microsoft willing to pay them money. They're paying for a service. Okay, why is Nintendo should just be given that service? What are they just? Well,
you gotta remember where Nintendo came from. Nintendo revitalized the console industry, not gaming as a whole, but just consoles. And Nintendo came from a place where people were trying to get on their systems, not them trying to find people to come to them. People were coming to them.
But it's not that. It's not like that.
It's not like that anymore. But you gotta understand when this is the only thing I can think of. When you're in that position, you don't go backwards. You go forward. You don't cater to them when you were catered to. So they're not going to do.
That's when you have the ball in your court. They don't got the ball in their court.
But see, the only thing I could think of is, like I said, is the only reason they're not doing it is because they don't give a fuck about them. That's what I'm saying. And that's perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm not, for a Nintendo system to please me. Really, the Wii U could have pleased me as a whole if the games were just coming out frequently. I'm not even saying they had to have a bunch of third-party games. It could have had, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the Wii U's indie scene, as much as these guys talk, like I game on PC, the indie scene on PC, PS4, Xbox One is way better than the Wii. The Wii U's indie scene is like trash. Most of those games are like trash. That's me though. The Wii U didn't even have indies to bridge the gap of time between you're just sitting there and your Wii U collecting dust. The only thing it had were games like virtual console games that I've owned. So those really weren't doing nothing for me either. If Nintendo with the NX, like I said, for sales, they should get the third party. For me personally, they don't even have to get like the major third parties. If they just get their games out at a decent pace, maybe get some third-party developers to make some other games for them or something. because I would rather have that Nintendo style of games, but they need to just make sure that there aren't these long ass windows of there's nothing to play on the Wii on the new system.
It kind of reminds me of a old question I had. You know, can Nintendo survive without without third party support, and can they do so successfully? Yes or no? You know,
I mean, they're doing it now. From what I understand, I don't follow sales, but everybody keeps telling me the Wii U is making profit, so I guess they are doing that.
So, what do you mean by successful, Thanos? Like sales, recognition?
without losing tons and tons of money on for the next 3 to 5 years on the console. You know, as long as they stay and remain profitable on the NX without hardly any or no third party support. You know. And if that's the case, then shit. I mean, is it fair to call Nintendo a console?
Well, this is the first. This is the first generation where Nintendo had very limited third-party support. And it's funny. People will say, back in the 64, no. no. The N64 had plenty of third-party games. It just you probably didn't notice them especially if you had a PlayStation. You know, they had a lot of third-party games. They had a lot of third-party games on the GameCube. They had a lot of third-party. They had a shit ton. You could find there were so many Wii games. You can walk into stores that didn't sell video games, and they had Wii games. You can walk into a Walgreens and find like shovelware Wii games. That's how many games were being pumped out on the Wii like crazy. Like those systems, even if you want to say they're trash or not, people were coming out making games for the system. And you think Nintendo was going requesting those people make games? No, they just was doing it. You get what I'm saying? This is still a fresh memory in their mind. That last system they just had, people were just making shit for it. Nintendo wasn't out there, hey, look, can you make an M&M's Racing for me? They don't give a fuck about M&M Racing. They just made those things. You know what I'm saying? They were making games, dropping games like crazy.
Wow.
There were games that no one would have thought, like games like, what's the game? Boy and His Blob. That game was dope. Zack and Wicked. There were so many dope games on the Wii that were made by third parties.
Dragon Ball, Revenge of King Piccolo.
Nintendo was not rushing out trying to get these people to make these games. Matter of fact, I don't even think Nintendo really came out to get the Conduit made. And the Conduit, those developers were purposely trying to make and deliver an online first-person shooter experience equivalent to what you would find on 360 on PS3 for the Wii owners. I don't think Nintendo went out and got those guys to do that. They did that shit because they knew the Wii was popular and they wanted to live up to the challenge. Nintendo's still coming off of that people are just making shit for us. So let them do what they want. That's how Nintendo rolls.
Oh, did you get in, Wiggy? All right, there you go.
Hey, brother, I'm here. How you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. This thing has a mind of its own when it wants to send invitations. Like Legal Winning usually gets in no problem. Now he's having a problem getting in.
I thought it's because I was black or something, Dave. I don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't saying shit.
Oh, well, wait a second. So I think I'm the only white dude in here on my own podcast.
I ain't saying shit.
I feel like I'm at the 8 Mile right now. Yeah, I appreciate you joining, man. Like I said, I didn't say this to viewers. We were supposed to have RXL, but RXL, he don't get off of work tonight until 11 o'clock his time. So there's a 3-hour difference from me. So I would have had to do the podcast at 2 a.m. in the morning, and that's not usually when I do. Not even close. I would have waited till later, at least 12 maybe, but he'd be 2 my time. So me and ParXL will do a podcast probably this weekend for sure. I can't say for sure, but it will happen sometime this week most likely. So look forward to that. But yeah, thanks Wiggy Gaming for joining. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's almost 3 a.m. over here, but my boy Dave, I've got to rep the podcast, bro.
I see. That's the hard thing about YouTube. Everybody's on different time differences. You know, that's one thing that a lot of people I talk to, they're on like, you know, they live in California, or you know, like you live in the UK, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm in the UK. It's all good, man. I've got a bit of gaming going on, so we'll have a chat and have some fun. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. All right. Right now we're talking about. We covered the whole. You know, there's all these. They came out with these NX rumors again about, you know, all the same shit we've been hearing. Levon, like before the podcast started, he told me, and it just sounds like the same thing. I even checked out a video from somebody. I'm not even gonna mention their names. I don't want to seem like I'm attacking them. But they were basically just regurgitating the same old shit that these dev kits are out there, and that, it's going to be more powerful. What's your thoughts on the NX rumors?
Yeah, I've seen some of the newest stuff. Apparently, they're saying that it's going to have like modern standard graphics chips, and it's going to be a hybrid. The thing is, I got a Wii U because I got it on a good price, but I didn't play it. It's not because I dislike it, but I think I prefer the other system. So I don't know. I'm going to need a pretty good game to get me into it. I'm not into Zelda. Metroid. If there was a Metroid, I'd probably be interested, but I don't know. I need to see what the games are like. Do you know what I mean? All these rumors, as you always say, we don't know. They're just rumors. As soon as I see some games announced, then I'll be like, all right, yeah, I'll have a look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to see what they have to offer. Like, right? You got to see. We don't know nothing yet. All we know is really Nintendo. All we know on paper, the honest, anything for, in reality, not a rumor, that they're announcing it at E3 2016. That's it. They could. I know why. In my opinion, this is what I think. Why people are coming up with all these rumors, because Nintendo really doesn't have nothing going on but amiibos right now, and they need something.
There's supposed to be a network this on the Wii on all their services. This next Monday.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that's when you're gonna hear anything that's to do with the NX. They'll be at E3, and then they got it. I think there's gonna be tons of rumors, but they're all. I'm sure some of them will be true, but there'll be a lot of them that are false. I hear one week it's more powerful. I hear the next week it's less powerful. Then I hear it's in between the Xbox One and the PS4. I mean, come on, it's always something different.
If there's a good game on launch, then I'll probably, just for the whole interest and the hype of it, because I'm a collector, I'll probably get it. But I need a good game on launch. If they drop something which I'm not really into, like. I know you're into that Yoshi's Woolly World, Dave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that is coming out this week, right? Or is it already out?
Out today.
Yeah.
Oh, it came out today. All right, so
visually it looks good, doesn't it?
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. Well, I mean, I just don't know. To me, it's I couldn't have a game drought going on like that and then get Yoshi's Wally World, and that just satisfies me. I'm sorry.
I think it probably would be. I think that's like one of the best looking games this year.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
But like what would you mean best looking game compared to like what?
Compared to like Metal Gear, The Order.
Yoshi's Wally World. Are we on the same? Okay, so that's like Splatoon on par with Infamous Second Son. Like I heard with Twilight Bites. Come on.
Well, it's in all fairness, it's a completely different art style type.
Oh no, if it's like you're talking more lifelike like that, but I'm talking about like when it comes like real like yeah, I can understand what Grimpachi's saying.
I'm saying like visually to my eyes, what's more appealing is the Yoshi.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with him. I've never seen graphics like that.
The thing about the Yoshi's Woolly World is Nintendo. They know how to use color. When you look at that game, and you also look at the game Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, if you actually look at that game on the TV, that art style that they use for that Kirby looks amazing. That shit look like real fucking clay.
The color palette's really good, but I've never seen texture like that before.
Like Thanos said.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, how you take a ball of clay when you was a kid in grammar school, and you ball that clay up and roll it to make a ball, how you got the indents of your fingers and stuff. That's how that Kirby looks. And I was amazed with it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, that looks good. Like, they really hit the nail with that. And they hit the nail with Yoshi. Like, that Yoshi look like real fucking yarn that people crochet with. It's just amazing. And plus the colors that's with it. The colors make it pop.
If it was a Barbie game, would you still be talking about it like that?
But that's what it seems like. It looks like it's a kid's game. Come on, guys. I
wouldn't say that, because this is how I look at it, right? Is it a kid's game?
Yes.
It's not.
Fucking yarn.
No, listen to what I'm saying though. Listen to what I'm saying. Is it a kids game? Sure, but so is Call of Duty. So is every video game a kids game.
I understand.
You know, when I was like 6, I was playing GTA 3, running people over. I mean, every game's a child's game.
Yeah, but there's a difference from a child's game like Yoshi to a child's game like Call of Duty.
And
is that really?
And Grand Theft Auto with drugs.
I'll say this though. I guarantee that kid when he's playing Yoshi, he's more mature. I bet you that kid isn't teabagging or calling someone a faggot.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. To me, I just couldn't do it unless I see maybe Yoshi jumping in cars and robbing cars and stealing.
You already told me the other day. You said I'm getting the Wii U from Woolly World.
No, I'm not.
you said I'm going under.
Fucking do it.
I go as far as Mario because I grew up on Mario. I was never really deep into Yoshi. I played a Yoshi game, but I didn't really like. I never went through a whole Yoshi game now. Or Kirby. I cannot stand fucking Kirby. No.
The fact is though, it's like with the Nintendo games, people just have to, in my opinion, have to accept that they are kids games. I bought my Wii U. The most I play it is when I play with my little one. They are kids games. That's not necessarily a bad thing, and it doesn't mean adults can't enjoy them. But they are kids games.
Do we always feel like we have to defend Nintendo though? Like I feel like I have to sit here and defend Nintendo, like what their games are.
Yeah. There's a stark difference between, like, I understand what Grimparch is saying. What's up, Grim, by the way? I understand what Grimparch, right, mate. I understand what he's saying, like, sort of like all games are kids' games in a sense, but there's a stark difference between Yoshi's Woolly World and prostitutes grinding on you, and Trevor doing drugs and shit. Do you know what I mean? That's adult. We're adults. We enjoy that. You can still
and let's fix this too. Those are not kids' games. Those are games that kids want to play that they really shouldn't be playing. Right, you know. That's not a kid's game. It's just kids want to play what adults are doing. No parent, not a majority of your parents are not going out and buying Grand Theft Auto for their 5-year-old. They do have the ones that do, but a majority of them are not. The majority of them are probably looking at the Nintendo shit for family.
Well, the majority of them know the Nintendo thing exists.
Well, I'm saying I know I've been in a house, so I will say I agree with that too. But I have seen some people. When me and my brother were doing it was just not too long ago, about like probably 6 months ago. There was we were in a house, and I remember this house. I would never expect to see a Wii U. It was sitting right there, you know, and that's all they had, and they had the Wii motes for it and everything. So there is some people that actually play the thing, but the majority of the world didn't. See, the Wii and the Wii U is too similar. The name, they should never went with that name. If they would have had a different name, and it even looked alike. I mean, the damn console looked the same too. You know, the console looked almost identical. Nintendo fucked up with the advertising big time in making that console and the name.
I could tell the difference between the two. I could.
Yeah, but most people that aren't deep into video games, when they look at a Wii and a Wii U, they may see a color difference, but that's it. You know, they might think the same thing.
It's fucking Optimus Prime in this bitch, man. Jeez.
Yeah, Optimus Prime. What's up, Legal? How's it going, man?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. We're talking about we talked about the NX rumors, and we're talking about the price drop with the NX. Not the price drop with the NX. If there should be in our opinion, should there be a price drop with the Wii U with the, PS4 being $349.99 and the Xbox One being about the same price. Everything's at $350, and then you got the Wii U that's at $300. We saw, and I guess Furious Francis made a video pretty much defending, that they don't need to drop the price on the Nintendo Wii U because they already have a price drop on the website, which I said most casuals don't go to fucking websites, especially Nintendo, to buy a console. They go to stores, so they don't even really see that. That's different from walking into a store with a $200 price tag than looking at a website, and looking under Nintendo, What's your thoughts?
I agree with you. I mean, only like the really, people who are really, really looking for that deal are going to find that refurbished Wii U on Nintendo's website. I know RXL bought a refurb from Nintendo.com. I mean, but that guy's into this type of a hobby. He's into gaming and all this, reading news and stuff like that. 99% of gamers, they're not on YouTube, they're not on forums, They're just people who play games. They go to the store and they look for something to buy. So, I mean, honestly, I think the Wii U should be dropped down to $199. And I think they should just sell them for $199. And next year they should just stop supporting it right after Christmas. Like next Christmas, 2016, I do think there should be title games for the system. They should bring out some things, like if they're going to have a Zelda for the Wii U and then a better version for the NX, bring out some games for next year. But right after 2016, right when it becomes January 2017, just kill it.
Kill it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you kidding? That would be kidding.
That's easy to say when you're not the one losing $400 million.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
Your
already
company.
losing. They're already
Well,
losing.
that's a good thing too. We're not all I love how everybody on this site, I'm not talking about anybody in the podcast, but just in general, everybody in this site runs Nintendo. We all run Sony. We all run Mike. We know what it's like to be in their shoes. We don't. I don't. You don't. Nobody does. We're all like businessmen. And it's funny, that's what YouTube kind of is in a way. Everybody has opinions, but we have no clue really what it'd be to lose that amount of money. But if I'm looking out from the outside and I see Nintendo with all the money they have, I don't think it would hurt them that much when we're sitting on billions of dollars. They can take a loss. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not like these consoles are flying off the shelf, the Wii U's. I mean, they're probably just sitting there, and it takes a month just to move a couple of them at any of these stores.
Yeah, well, and anything else too, they're gonna discount shit and they're gonna ship it off. Like that's any item usually in the store. They usually reduce the price, get the fuck out of there, and that's what they're gonna have to do with the Wii U.
Yeah, I mean, the Wii U to me has one more year. I mean, right when the Wii came out, right? The GameCube that was the last year of support for the GameCube, and that holiday season when the Wii came out, the only thing that GameCube got was that new Zelda game back in what was it 2006, and that was it. The Cube was dead. I think the only other game the Cube ever got a year later was the new Madden, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right. Anybody else on this topic? Because I do want to get off this topic because we have a lot. Not
on what?
This topic, just what we were talking about in general with the Wii U price drop, NX rumors. I want to move on from that.
Oh, I just want to say, since there's a lot of black dudes in this podcast, I want to say that I trolled the real Orlando Jones.
Yeah, he actually did. You guys know who Orlando Jones is?
Oh, bro.
No idea.
Is he an actor?
He actually trolled him. He actually had him comment on his page, League of Winning. Orlando Jones commented on his page because he trolled him.
Who is that? Who's that?
He's an actor.
League of Winning. He's been in a lot of movies, the dude. He's been in like Biker Boys,
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
the show on right now.
All right.
He actually trolled. He was actually pretty good. Because somebody told me, one of my subscribers, they said, "Oh, Orlando Jones commented on League of Winning's video," and I looked, and it was actually him. But I mean, I thought that was pretty good. But anything else on this subject with Nintendo NX before I move, and anything else with Nintendo anybody wants to talk about before I leave Nintendo? Because I don't want to look like I'm picking on Nintendo. I try to not do that on the podcast.
I just want to say, if Nintendo really wants to be successful, they have to change their business practices about uploading videos to YouTube and all this other stuff. I mean, they're behind the times, man, because if they keep up with this crap that they get, about this, their YouTube partnership, the Nintendo program, and they continue that with the NX, to me, I mean, they still have a lot of business practices that can make them fail. Because remember, the N64 was much more powerful than the PlayStation 1, and the PlayStation 1 kicked the crap out of the N64.
Okay, and good thing you mentioned that, because that's something I did want to talk about. I forgot. I did a live stream of Uncharted and a few of them, and I did a live stream of the Star Wars beta. Now, the Star Wars beta, I could understand them not letting me monetize it, but why was I not allowed to monetize Uncharted collection. When I see tons of videos on YouTube of people doing this, is only certain people allowed to monetize, or are they not monetizing at all and they're just putting those videos up? Does anybody know that?
They probably aren't monetized, but they probably don't let you monetize because you got the music on. That music is probably what's stopping you from monetizing.
With the Star Wars Battlefront, the music thing popped up and it said, it says, do you want to remove the song? So I removed the song, but it was like still in process. So I just fucking took the video down because it wouldn't let my other videos upload. It was taking 10 years to remove the song. But my Uncharted videos, it wouldn't even let me do. It let me do them at first, and the next day I got a notice. But I look all over YouTube. I see these people putting up gameplay all the time on their channel. So obviously, but then I asked Shaner, shout out to Geek Essentials, Shaner and TechRev. I asked them, you know, what's up with this? They said it's something to do with the YouTube streaming with the PS4. They said it's some fucked up, or YouTube streaming in general. And they said that's why they use Twitch. So I just want to put that out there for anybody that's, you know, maybe planning on making a channel or doing something with the YouTube streaming. That's what's going on with it, with my case. And so a lot of people take shots at Nintendo, and say, oh, Nintendo don't want you putting gameplay up. It ain't only them. You know, I had this happen with Uncharted and EA and Blue Point Games. So
yeah,
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
All right. Next topic I want to talk about this Phil Spencer interview that took place recently. Did anybody see it? It happened about a week ago. I first heard about it from Old Dirty. He told me about it, and I checked it out.
Oh, the one about saying he's there. We're in second place, or no? PS4's got a huge lead. That one.
Well, he didn't come out like, it's not like how people are putting it. Like, people are acting like he pretty much said, oh, he's lost this generation. It wasn't like that. I watched the whole interview.
Like, I don't know, or something?
No, he was very respectable. I have a lot of respect for Phil Spencer, especially after that interview. That guy actually is a cool dude. You know, I'd like to see him running, people like him running most of the gaming companies instead of people like Reggie, you know, Fils-Aimé. That's just, you know, fuck that dude. And a lot of these other dudes. I mean, I think the dude's actually on point, and he's actually in touch with reality. You know, yeah, he's in a. It's not. He said he even took the blame kind of for where Xbox was off the start, and he wasn't even there at the beginning. You know, he says no, he was there at the beginning, but not the head of the Xbox division like he is now. He was doing something else, but he said he was there from the get-go, and he takes all responsibility. But it was a really good interview. I thought, you know, he talked about the whole, he talked about HoloLens, is that what it's called? HoloLens?
HoloLens, yeah.
He talked about that, he talked about Minecraft, how that's becoming a big thing. They did pop him the question, hey, you know, do you ever think you'd catch up to Sony or something like that? And he just, he didn't say yes or no, but he said he's more worried about the consumers being happy or something like that. Did you guys hear that? Or
Yeah,
I read the article. The thing is with him, it's like
well, you can watch it. It's all on a video. You can watch it all.
Cool.
Yeah.
He can't really win because if he would have said, you know, well, Sony don't really, you know, they don't have a massive lead, then people would have said you're lying. He's a liar. So when he says, okay, they've got a lead, I'm going to acknowledge that. He's weak. So he can't really win, really. But I think he's a good dude. I think with regards to them catching up, I honestly I can't really see it. The PlayStation 4 is just a massive success. And what it is, the PlayStation's got that like Apple effect. Do you know what I mean? People think it's the cooler console. People at work who aren't hardcore gamers, they'll say, oh, so I'm going to get the new PlayStation. And when you say about the Xbox, they're like kind of turn their nose up when they shouldn't really because it's a good console.
Oh, yeah, he did say Sony. He says he gives it to Sony. They are fucking knocking it out of the park pretty much, you know. He said we're not motivated. When they did ask him that question about Sony, he says we're not motivated by beating Sony. We're motivated by gaining as many customers as we can. You know, that's because they asked, like, are you going to, like, go at, you know, are you still fighting this, you know, like, they basically talk about the console war and are you going to try to catch up to Sony, and that's basically what he says, you know. But it was a pretty good interview, I thought, for the most part. And then he did say something about he said something about the console generation. He says the generation will not be so long. According with that whole to go with that whole PS4 thing and Sony, he claimed it won't. He said something like to as long as the generation is. You know, something like that. He didn't say it was going to be a short generation, didn't say long, he just said something like that. So a lot of people were taking that as he said it was going to be a short generation, but I didn't get that from that.
I'd rather have it be a short generation. I don't want to go through 8 years of these consoles. I mean, they're already weak. I mean, I don't give a shit if the PS4 is even a little bit more powerful than the Xbox. The PS4 is, I mean, even that hardware is a little bit on the weak side. I mean, they're not like weak where you can't get next generation games on these two consoles, but it would have been nice if they at least put maybe like an i5 or an i7 chip in there instead of like some cheap AMD crap. But
yeah, but that would cost more money, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's why they got to keep these consoles affordable.
They'll never put Intel or Nvidia in consoles
They'll
because
never do that again.
Microsoft did that with the original Xbox, and that shit cost them too much money.
Yeah, they gotta keep one thing everybody's always missing. Yeah, it'd be great. They could throw the highest graphics card in that motherfucker, but they gotta keep things affordable for people. And I'll be honest with you, this ain't affordable for a lot of people.
No, it's not.
You know?
But what I'm saying is, I mean, for the prices that we're paying for these consoles, I feel like I should have an i7. Now, with the AMD chips that are in there, that are in these two consoles, I feel like these two consoles should have been released for at least $300. I mean, I think we're paying too much for too little.
Well, you paid the thing you paid for was for convenience. That's what you really paid for. When these people buy consoles, they're buying convenience, and that's the thing. That's the thing that consoles offer more than a PC. It's convenience. You just plug it in, you just play. You don't worry about updates, drivers, and all that shit.
Even with that, it's like, you know, you're saying you think we should have had an i7. I mean, like, even the cheapest i7 that's good for gaming, you're looking at around like $300 just for that processor. That's not talking about the motherboard.
I'm saying, I'd rather have an i7 in there and have another 8-year generation than have these AMDs last around 5 years.
Well, you're looking at like a $700 console.
Yeah. And everybody complained about that last generation of the PS3 being about I paid almost $600 for that damn thing. You know, I got the 80 gig one.
Well,
everybody was up in arms about that, and that's what hurt Sony from the rip with how much that damn thing was. You know,
this is the crazy part. Like the PS4, number 4, is what put PlayStation back in PlayStation. PlayStation's a beast of a console. Mm-hmm. I think it's just massive. It wasn't until the PS3 that other manufacturers were able to catch up and take the lead for a little while, for a long while actually. So yeah, it was pricey. What was it? $399 for the PS4?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're paying for convenience. Essentially, that's what you're paying for, and I think they're going to continue it with the PS5. They're just going to incorporate another APU in it,
So yeah, another thing, it's like everybody wants this generation to be over already. Like it was like, and then last generation it went on too long. This generation just started, and like people are already done with it.
Well, what was it? 88 million, right? 83 million consoles sold on the 360.
And to be technical, last generation's still kind of going on. It's still something.
I would honestly say that the PlayStation 3 has a lot more value than pretty much all the next generation consoles at this point, especially if you never had a PS3.
Well, let me just say this. I mean, I forget who Thanos, I think, was saying something. But
yes, sir.
Or it was Dave. I forget who said this about a minute ago. It's like this. People want this generation to be over. Was that you, Thanos, that said that?
That was me.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay, that was.
I think there's too much money to be made on the last generation. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think the reason why people want this generation to be over so fast, and this is my personal opinion, is that somebody like myself who owns both next generation consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One, I don't even feel like they're even worth getting until this holiday season. I mean, granted, Star Wars Battlefront looks like, the whole voice chat. But I'm saying is, we're finally getting games that look next generation. I mean, I know there was Rise, there was The Order, and these other games, but we're finally getting games where the engines are updated for this hardware. And here is the thing: I remember before these consoles came out, like a month or two or whatever, when we were all reading the news stuff, and it was, I can't remember the website, but there was a picture of somebody. It was a 3D model of a guy's head of somebody that was maybe like 200-300 years ago, like during George Washington's time, and they took that model and they said, okay, this is what it would look like on the PlayStation 1. This is what it would look like on the PlayStation 2. It got better on the PS2. This is what it would look like on the PS3 with these amount of polygons. Then they went to the PS4 and they put more polygons up, like a whole bunch of them, but it didn't improve the 3D model that much. I mean, so sometimes when you look at these games, we're looking at, the last generation of Call of Duty or Watch Dogs or whatever. It's like, okay, the resolution is lower on last gen. You can definitely see that.
Right.
But the modeling is, it's a little bit lower than next generation, but it's still adequate.
Yeah, because they gotta make games for last generation still. They need to fucking drop last generation and just build for this generation. They still keep holding on to last generation. That's the problem. These developers don't want to make two different type of games. They did that with Assassin's Creed, where you had to make Assassin's Creed Unity and Rogue. And Call of Duty's not going to do that. They're going to make something similar to both consoles, where they're not going to make one much better than the other. They're not going to do that.
Oh, Dave, I disagree with you, Dave, for the first time. Oh, shit, son.
Oh, shit, son.
Oh, shit, son. You know what, Dave? Like, you're right with when you say, like, developers. But, and I was having this conversation, I think, yesterday with Kenoshi. It's not the developer's fault, man. It's the consumer's fault. They're only giving us what we continue to buy.
Oh, okay.
And as a consumer, if there's enough of us out there to support the 360 and the PS3, and if I was EA or any type of businessman, I'm going to cater to that audience. That's money.
Yeah, but would you agree that they're not going to make a better version for the PS4? Like, they're going to keep shit similar so it's easy for them? I see what you're saying, but do you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, they would. I agree with you there.
A lot of times it is, but I've never seen really a time where it wasn't better. I mean, but when it comes down to, like, the last gen and the next gen and they're holding each other back, like, I guess, but it's just like saying a PC gamer saying consoles are holding back the PC. Really, it's not. At the end of the day, if the developer wants to utilize all the hardware to its capabilities, they can do that if they have the money, the time, and the funding. But they don't want to do that. I mean, it's not like the console is the last gen console is literally stopping the next gen version from looking better. It's just they ain't got the money to do all that. And to be fair, most of the people I know that have a next gen console, they still heavily use their last gen console.
Yeah, I'm playing my 360 right now, brother.
I'm playing my 360 right now.
Yeah, but you're still missing.
Yeah, but how long will last generation will end? When will that end?
It may not. You know what? The last generation may not end until maybe 3 or 4 years before the next generation ends. It may be long-sighted the whole time. Because
I do see Dave's point because I tell you what, where it struck me was like Titanfall. If you look at Titanfall in the 360 and then Titanfall on the Xbox One, it looked marginally better on the Xbox One, but it was kind of a bit disappointing because I've just got my new Xbox One. You see the 360 version and you're like, okay, it doesn't look as good, but it looks kind of close-ish. I think if there was no 360 to tie them down, they'd experiment more with what the Xbox One could do.
Well, I'll say this with Titanfall, though. Titanfall was like a 960p. In the Xbox 360.
Don't bring the P's into this, Grim.
I'm just saying, those P's are very important because right now I could be on PC, right? Turn the graphics settings all the way to the ultra, and if I set it to 480p, it looks like shit. Like no matter how much ultra settings and the textures I turn on, the resolution will make it blurrier. So you're playing at 960p on Xbox One. The Xbox gamer is probably playing at what 720p, maybe a little bit lower, but they're probably
That's all
so
they
close.
did. That's all. That's where the point is. All they did was bump the resolution up. That's it.
But what I'm saying is this though, and it wasn't just the resolution. You wouldn't be able to know because I play Titanfall on PC. Titanfall on PC looks great. You wouldn't probably be able to notice those great textures and stuff on the next gen copy because the resolution was so low. And I don't think that was the developer's fault as much as at that time, for what we understood, was the Xbox One's fault. Because still to this day, a lot of games have variable frame rates. I mean, variable resolutions on Xbox One and blah 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 blah. You know, so
yeah. But I don't think you get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if they knew there wasn't a 360 version which they had to match, they could have experimented with different things, different visual effects.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Like, look at the I had both versions of Call of Duty Ghost. I had it for the PS3, and then I upgraded it for my PS4. Same thing with Assassin's Creed Black Flag. When you upgraded the Black Flag, all you see was like a couple more fucking animals running around. It didn't look any different. The rain looked a little more detailed. But what me and Wiggy are trying to say, they don't really go in on it. They just like fucking basically bump the resolution up there.
Because they know. That's because they know they've got a large. Yeah.
All that's because Ghost is identical.
But why would they go extra hard on a multiplayer game? They got to put on multiple.
Let's see them do the order on PS3. I want to see that look like that on PS3.
Well, I mean, if they did the order on PS3 now.
It wouldn't look near like it does.
The PS4 version is done. So obviously it wouldn't look nothing like the PS4 version because the PS4 is more powerful. But because that's an exclusive game and Sony wanted to put that on PS3, they could take their time and make it look as best as they can. Or they could just port it over and make it look like shit.
Why was Unity not be able to be done on the PS3 and 360? Why was that?
I believe that had to do with the AI.
Did you notice how much more shit? Did you notice how much? Did you notice how much more shit was in Unity compared to Black Flag that was going on the fucking screen?
Definitely.
But you gotta understand, was not Black Flag a last gen game brought to next gen? You know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of requesting like next gen stuff on a game.
What about Call of Duty? Yeah, but the thing is, I guarantee Advanced Warfare don't really look much different than the one that now. Legal Winning, you have Advanced Warfare on PS3, right?
Yeah.
Did you play it on the Xbox One or see it on the PS4? Did you see a difference?
I saw. I upgraded for the $10 for the PS4, but I put the PS3 disc in the PS4, and I had to download the PS4 version. The PS3 disc is just to authorize it. It was sharper, better resolution. Got rid of all the jaggy problems. Textures were much better. It was like really nice to look at. So from that perspective, I do think that the prettier image did make it look more enjoyable. However, the gameplay was identical on both consoles.
Yeah.
What
we're trying to say, see, what me and Wiggy are going, I understand what you guys are saying, but
people still haven't got what we're trying to say, I don't think.
They would do more with the version that they can't do on. They're trying to keep it like last gen, and really all they're doing when it goes next gen is bumping everything up, just making it like how you guys are talking with PC, making the higher resolutions, everything. But they're not really doing the stuff, anything like doing stuff that they can do with these next generation consoles. They're kind of keeping it last gen.
So
an example would be
that started later.
Right. The biggest jump that the 8th generation have over previous consoles is lighting effect and frame rates. You know, besides resolution, everything else they'll probably have to work for a little bit harder to get extra AI in there, extra textures, more creatures on screen, whatever it may be. But it's essentially better lighting and higher frame rates. Is really what it really offers this generation.
I agree with that. Like, I mean, it's almost like we're getting an upgrade of the PS3 and the 360. It's like almost like if you're a PC gamer, you put in a new video card, like you upgrade your video card after 2 years.
Yeah, because the character model is not different. I mean, they're the same. Let's face it. The character models are exactly the same.
I will say this though. I agree with you. Like, the character models are the same and everything like that. However, for the few games that really have pushed next generation hardware like Rise, The Order, and this new Star Wars Battlefront. I mean, these are the games that make me say, okay, I'm ready to go next gen. I don't.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like 2 years. Like I got these consoles at launch, and to me, it's almost like they're a waste to get. Like when the next consoles come out, I don't feel like I'll probably get them at launch again because I'm a nerd. But I should be telling myself, don't buy them for at least 2 years, because right now we're starting to get games where they're kind of going to say, okay, some developers are going to say, okay, forget about last generation. Let's focus on next generation, and we can finally get some games that look like their next generation. But, you know, when games were on PS2 and PS3 and original Xbox and 360, you definitely saw a difference in graphics. I mean, you know,
Wow.
the few games that were out there and so on. You know, you can see there was a big difference in graphics. In this generation, for 2 years, for games that were coming on both systems, you didn't really even see. Even on the Metal Gear, I mean, I know there's frame rate problems, but even that looks almost somewhat the same, even though it's lower resolution. You're gonna get the same experience.
You just Prime. You just said something that it's this idea never ever once crossed my mind. Dave, I know this might be just a little bit off topic, but I want to ask Prime something real quick.
Well, that's fine.
Prime, you were saying about graphics and next generation. Does it take graphics of a game for you to acknowledge that this is the next generation of consoles? It's not necessarily the game or the type of game or the gameplay itself. It's just necessarily just the graphics alone that will make you acknowledge that, okay, this is the next generation.
For me, from my own personal opinion, I'm going to say yes. Because if there's no graphic, if I don't see the graphics, I don't see a reason to upgrade just yet. I'll be perfectly happy with the consoles I already own.
And I hate this. I hate to say that League of Winning is right in a way when that does apply to a lot of people. A lot of people, when they don't see that graphical jump, that's what they look for every generation. I know it's not right to say that. I know a lot of people can say, "Oh, that's bullshit," but it is.
Yeah.
Everybody was always looking for a graphical jump, and there wasn't a big graphical jump this generation.
What
The
about
consoles come out too early. I think the consoles come out too early anyway.
I mean, for me, I do think that the jump is reasonable. What you guys got, like, look at everything has a give and take. Like, I don't know what you guys necessarily were thinking was going to happen, but what you guys got is very reasonable. Like, if I look at, like, comparing other games to other games, if I look at Infamous 2 to Infamous Second Son, they don't look anything the same. Infamous Second Son looks like leaps and bounds better. And see, sometimes you mentally may think, yo, like, they don't look that much different. When you have them side by side, you see how low that PS3 frame rate is. You see how low that resolution was. Because right now I'm playing Tony Hawk on the 360, and when I first saw this, these graphics were amazing at the time. These graphics look like vomit.
But Grim, Grim, you gotta admit though, the leap from the PS2 to the PS3 was huge.
It depends on the game. Like, for example, what a game that made me.
It was almost all of them.
No, I'm so serious. It depends on the game, especially games that were on both generations. Like, look, take out something like Burnout Revenge.
Grim, you're in beast mode.
Burnout Revenge.
He likes to argue.
No, I'm not arguing.
He's in beast mode.
I'm being serious.
Grim's in beast mode.
If you look at
But I will say this: you have legitimate arguments, though. It's not like you just do it to do it.
If you look at Burnout Revenge, right, which I played on PS2, and you look at it on 360, now you can tell it looks crisper. That has to do with probably the resolution. That was about it. That game looks similar. You didn't notice Burnout reach next generation, at least to the Burnout fans and people like me that enjoyed that series, until you got Burnout Paradise, an open world Burnout game where all this crazy crap was going on.
And one thing I want to say, most people say, most podcasts, everybody's this yes man, and a big circle jerk. I can honestly say Grimpachi does not agree with any of us in this podcast.
That's not true.
Wait.
I agree. Just not 110%.
What about the features of these?
Let me also add another thing to what Kapachi was saying. you have to understand that a lot of people, they're watching videos of next generation games like Call of Duty Ghost. A lot of people, when they saw PS4 footage of Call of Duty Ghost from Xbox One or PS4, it didn't look that much improved, especially when you were looking at videos on YouTube, until people really got used to saying, okay, I know that's the 360 or the PS3, and I can tell, okay, now the textures are looking better. Because I will say one thing, PS4 Call of Duty Ghosts uploaded to YouTube does not look as good as PS3 playing on my TV.
Oh, of course.
It's that weird thing about codecs and encoding files and low bit rates once it gets to YouTube. It is a huge mess.
Grimpachi showed me a video of what's that game called? Forza 6 from Solid Rev, and that
looked like a PS3
game.
I didn't know what that was. And see, that's the thing. Like, a lot of times you have to see these things in person, because I was playing Battlefield 3 on 360, and I could kind of tell when I was watching people play it on PC, on YouTube, it looked somewhat better until I got it in my hand. Then I understood that, what I was playing looked like hot mess. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta look at it for yourself. Like, I went over my cousin's. I don't have an Xbox One or anything, but he was playing Destiny and playing Halo, and it looked really good. It looked like he was playing Master Chief Collection.
Are you talking about clarity, Grim?
Hmm?
The clarity of the game you're talking about?
Everything. It looked like a crisper version of. Well, Halo looked like a crisper version of the old games, but Destiny, because I played Destiny on last generation, Destiny looked way better on the Xbox One compared to playing on the PS3.
So it looks much better.
Has anyone played Everyone's Gone to the Rapture?
I didn't. I skipped on that one because everybody told me it was just a game you walk around and look at stuff.
Yeah, I'm not in
no type of but I'm talking about visually. That to me is next gen. Like games like The Order, that's a vast leap. Like what we're talking about here, like Call of Duty Ghosts on the 360 to Call of Duty Ghosts on like the Xbox One. To me, the leap's not big enough. Even with Titanfall, but stuff like The Order, Infamous Second Son, even Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. That to me is a true next gen leap.
But notice, like even on PC, to get games that look that good, what are you doing? Nothing. You're walking.
Grimpachi, it's a true next gen leap.
Look at. I'm gonna be 100% with you. If Beyond Two Soul had a better resolution, that game looks amazing. If it had better resolution, at the time it looked great, but now it looks like crap.
I haven't seen next gen on these consoles yet. The only time I've seen next gen, not even. I have it. The only time
I've seen next gen gameplay.
The only time I've seen next gen was when they were demonstrating the Unreal 4 engine. That's it.
I've seen next gen on Xbox.
Do you think they just push these consoles out too soon? Like they
come out too soon.
Well, the backers just say that they max out the hardware.
I don't really think they came out too soon.
I don't think the hardware is maxed out. I just don't think they know what to do with it still yet.
I don't think it came out too soon. I just think to make.
I think they said that.
To have made.
I think they're both anemic. They're both a little bit anemic.
To have made the consoles, affordable. This is what you get. You can't. You know what I'm saying. You can't get out every last thing. Like they're not gonna be able to afford to give you this expensive console, and then you get all these nice visuals and stuff. But if visuals are the reason that makes you say, oh, this is next generation, like for example, Dead Rising 3 in the visual department looks better than any Dead Rising 3 game, but it's not like the best looking game I've ever seen. But I felt how it played was this is the next generation for Dead Rising, right? How it played. Not really how it looked. How it looked fine, but it didn't look amazing.
With Dead Rising, it was more the technical accomplishment, wasn't it, of all those zombies, as opposed to the actual beautiful art style or the lighting, in my opinion. It was the technical accomplishment of thousands of zombies.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what made it next generation. The game, because it wasn't just it's a lot of zombies on the screen. Because I mean, there's games like Dynasty Warriors.
Zombies on the screen.
I know it was a lot, but the way they didn't just say, "Here's a lot of zombies and this is it."
That's exactly what they said at the briefing.
No, they didn't. Look, when I played Dead Rising 3, right, and it was fully open world, all that stuff, the loading was gone. And remember, I played on PC, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
They improved Dead Rising 3 way better No, I'm not doing that. They
Apache, can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you buy the first version of Destiny, will it still work on PS3, or do you have to upgrade to the newest stuff?
If you buy Destiny and you do the upgrade, which I don't think is still available anymore, I think the way it worked was like once you upgrade it, you couldn't use the. I mean, if you had the PS3 disc, you could use it, but your character can't go backwards. Once you move him forward, he's forever on the next version, not on the last version.
What I'm saying is, if you just buy the disc, the old version for the PS3, will it still work?
Oh, you talking about like just the original copy of Destiny, not the Taken King version?
Yeah, just the regular.
Oh yeah,
version.
I mean yeah, you can still play Destiny. The original.
Okay. Is that it? What we're talking about, or I'm kind of lost on the top. I don't even know. We were talking about Phil Spencer, and then I know Thanos brought us to this. Are we done with this topic, or?
I guess so.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
ideas for consoles. I mean, the Wii U was for its gamepad, the off-screen, off-TV play. The features for the PS4, the streaming, all that. That's how I was noticed by next gen, not by the visuals, kind of.
Oh, so you're saying you don't feel it next gen's from the visuals? It's by what the console does.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I can see that. And that's what. And I kind of agree with Levon. This generation, these consoles can. I think they're doing more in games on certain things, like adding more, stuff going on screen. That's where a lot of people are saying the next gen is at. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
You know what, Dave? I would have really liked to seen just consistent 1080p 60 FPS for 8th gen. That's where it should have been.
What about the Order, Thanos? Did you think that looked next gen?
No.
Do you feel like this generation was overhyped?
Yeah.
Graphically, yes.
If you look at something like, what's the game? I remember people were thinking it was fake when we first saw it. And that game looks amazing. No, not Battlefront. It was Killzone Shadowfall. People were saying that doesn't. People were saying that didn't look like that was possible.
Yeah. I will say this though. I don't have like the newest PC at all. I mean, I cannot play Rise, the Rise Son of Rome on my laptop, but I can play every last generation game on my computer on Steam. And right now I'm playing, I don't know, one of the Transformer games when they're on the Transformer planet on Steam. It looks really good playing it in true HD compared to the PS3 or the Xbox 360 that 99% of the time those consoles would just upscale the resolution. I mean, if you take Uncharted, like I'm playing Uncharted 2 on the PS3, and that's native 720p. That looks damn good for. I mean, I can't believe. I mean, this is PS3 compared to all the other PS3 games that I played that have been upscaled.
Oh, what's up, Mr. T? How's it going, buddy?
Hit them fools.
It's Mr. T, man.
What's up,
yo?
Love it, love it.
What's up, y'all?
Oh, not much. We were talking. Now we went from talking about the NX rumors to what was the next thing we talked about? We went to that to Nintendo with the console with a price drop. If they should do that. And now we went from Phil Spencer's interview that he had to console. Like this generation, is it really next gen? Like it was, are these consoles actually next generation graphics? Like from what we've seen with other consoles, I guess that's what we're on now.
Right.
If you wanna brush up, well, do you wanna come in just what we're talking about now, or do you want to give us your take on some of the other stuff?
No, just let whoever was talking finish their thought.
Okay, all right. Yeah, basically, what's your thoughts? Do you think that these consoles are next generation? And then with a lot of games like Call of Duty, Ghost, a lot of the ones that are on last generation, this generation, do you see a big difference? Do you think like there is one, or?
No, I mean, well, I don't think visually or really gameplay-wise there isn't much difference from last gen to this gen. So, yeah, I would say, I mean, generation, it stands for, it's a measurement of time. It's not about the graphics and all that stuff. But obviously, when it comes to video games, when you go into the next generation, you're looking for a graphical leap, and you're looking for maybe, bigger games and all that stuff. But, dude, I was just playing my 360 today, and I'm like, I'm actually having more fun on my 360 than my Xbox One. So,
Mr. T, could I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you feel that consoles had more to offer, especially when it was Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and maybe the TurboGrafx, where you had these Japanese companies making their own architecture and putting certain chips in there to do certain things that the other consoles really couldn't do. Like the Sega Saturn was geared more to 2D graphics, where the PlayStation was more of a 3D console, and then the N64 was it had a GPU in there or whatever. Do you feel, or the Super Nintendo, the way it had Mode 7, and then you had like Sega CD, do you feel that was more fun?
Yeah, I mean, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
Oh no, I was just saying, do you think it was more fun back in the day where you had these companies really customizing their hardware to do certain things, and now it just seems like these two consoles are pretty much the same, except that one's a little bit more powerful here and there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the best example, 16-bit era, because even though the consoles were somewhat on par graphically, they were really different. Like you said, Super Nintendo had the Mode 7, then it came out with the Super FX chip, and it blew everybody away with Star Fox and Donkey Kong Country games, and those just looked like, this was still in the same generation of like Super Mario World, and then you're like looking at Donkey Kong Country and like, wow, this is on the same console. This is craziness.
I specifically remember at the time owning the Mega Drive, thinking my Streets of Rage was great, thinking it was brilliant, and then for the first time I saw Mode 7 effects, I'm like, this shit's like 3D. And then you see F-Zero and the way the floor was moving and that big Bullet Bill sprite from
oh yeah, I remember the first time I saw that, I was blown away by how huge.
That's what I'm saying. That to me was a big leap from
owning my Mega Drive. Would you guys say that maybe it's because, like, I'm gonna say this respectfly, okay? I'm gonna try to say it in a way that sounds like not rude. Could it be because you guys are old? And you guys
hold up.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, excuse me. You're talking about a filmmaker that has 4K cameras?
Like, I'm just saying, like,
we're not all 14 years old, Grim, all right? Some of us have been gaming, brother.
Yeah, you're right. We're old.
Like what I'm saying is,
when we were younger,
because you guys are older and you've been gaming for so long, could it be that things don't surprise you, or
I agree?
Things that are
quite the opposite.
Well, tell us, youngster. Are there any things that have blown you away or surprised you?
Quickly chime in. Quickly.
Grim,
go ahead.
I get what you're saying, but this is the truth. We see the exact same shit you see.
I just want to quickly chime in. When Grim says you're not surprised anymore, I say it's the opposite, because from growing up from the Spectrum, like the Spectrum, the Atari, we've seen graphics not at their worst, but we actually appreciate, in my opinion, I think some old school gamers appreciate visuals more because we know where we've come from. From back when we were playing 16-bit sprites, 8-bit sprites, to seeing visuals today, like, we can see where we've come from. We can see the progression, and in my opinion, we can appreciate new graphics more, as opposed to sort of like you'll see in the comment sections of, let's say, The Order or Star Wars Battlefront. Oh, this doesn't look that great. Oh yeah, it looks all right, doesn't it? To me,
I think that has a lot to do with the console war, though. Console war comes into play on a lot of this difference, like from people that are actually giving their opinion. Like what we see with a lot of these comment sections, people just down in the console because they don't like it.
Well, let me
appreciate it, because we've been there from the start. We've seen that when graphics were poor, up to seeing the beautiful shading now, which we didn't have at the time. We've lived through this shit, Grim Party.
Let me finish what I mean. Like what's the last game I saw visually? Like, well, The Witcher 3 was very impressive. It looked great. Metal Gear looked great. Like, we were talking about visuals earlier, and like some, people don't think that games look great anymore. They just kind of look the same. Like, I don't know. Like, I really haven't seen anything that looks bad.
No, nobody's saying they look bad. What we're saying is that leap isn't there. That leap of, whoa, this is the
Like,
next
have you not seen Woolly World?
Can I say something?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I've seen Woolly World.
That's a leap.
Yeah.
Can
On
I
the
say?
Wii U? Are you kidding?
No.
No.
That's a leap.
Visually and artistically, that game looks beautiful.
Like, think about it.
Yeah,
Compare it to another game that tried to use wool and yarn, Little Bit Planet 3 on the PS4. That looks like, comparing the two, Yoshi looks like real yarn. Sackboy looks like Sack.
If you want real yarn, go and buy jumper, Grandpa.
Can I say something?
You'll be asking for leather in your visuals next. Shit.
Can I say something?
Sure.
And this isn't an attack on Kripachi, but I just want to say something about noticing graphics and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to brag about myself or anything, but I have probably maybe around $10,000 worth of camera equipment, okay, photography and video. And I'm going to talk about something really quickly that you guys probably don't even know about, okay? I was actually blown away by YouTube video quality. If you go and you type in Red 1 or Red Epic or any of these high-end cameras, and even if you only have a 720p monitor or a 1080p or whatever the resolution, stream it in 4K, you will see 4.4.4 color space. You're going to look at your monitor and you're going to think it's fucking next generation. I swear to God. Also, the German camera company, which is called Area Alexa, the CEO of that company has said that television manufacturers dumb down HD so you upgrade and spend more money. And 99% of consumers don't have to go to 4K. They just have to have more color space. And so, believe me, I know when I'm looking at something, does it look like it's worthy of me purchasing it? And when you see what a 720p monitor looks like in 444 color space, it'll blow you away. Because right now, all of us, every single one of us, is looking at 420. And 420, to tell you the truth, you're looking at standard definition color, even though you have an HD television. All your Blu-rays all have standard definition color. And that's something I'm not bullshitting about.
But what did you say? Like, would you say it's a little bit equivalent to having like an OLED screen?
The OLED screen, what those try to do is they try to enhance or give you the best 420 color space. And what it is 420 color space, every pixel does not have the color information. When you see 4.4.4, you will see true color like you've never seen it in your life. And all you have to do is go on YouTube, type in Red Epic or Red 1 or whatever it is, or Panasonic GH4 or a Samsung NX1, and even though you don't have 4K, stream it in 4K, and you will see resolution. You will think you have a fucking 8K monitor on your television. They purposely dumbed down the color because when the FCC and all these other countries were trying to come up with HD, standard and everything, they don't have the bandwidth to go over the air and send all that color information. It was dumbed down. So all your Blu-rays, all your PS4s, all your Xbox Ones, you're technically looking at standard definition color, but you're looking at HD resolution. So when we get 4K Blu-rays, we're going to be looking at HD color. But we're going to be looking at 4K resolution.
Wow. So you're saying it's just upscaling it, or is that what I'm not good with
it's upscaling the color. And,
okay.
And I'll find a video that explains it. Basically, you have a square with a cross in it, basically. And the top right pixel has all the information, red, blue, and green, okay? And the brightness. Now, the other pixels, they just have the information of the brightness. They don't even have color information. They have to go to the top right pixel and say, hey, what color am I? And that pixel says, oh, you're blue, stupid. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be 70% bright on blue. And that's what it is. And that's why when you look at a YouTube video on a small screen, if it's 360p, it looks okay. But when you blow it up, you know it's upscaled, but the color looks like crap because it's
That's
stealing
some
colors.
technical
So
shit.
Prime, you're essentially saying that it's the software, right? Or it's not necessarily the monitor or the hardware itself. It's the software, right? Or
The
whatever's giving the feed to the monitor.
yeah, it's the software that does not have the signal that does not have the true color that you're supposed to be seeing. And the only way you can see this type of color is if you have a 4K. A 4K. Technically, you can't even see it if you have a 4K. The files in your hard drive. Because I've streamed them. They do look really good, and they are very sharp. But when I look at it, it says 420. But I do know for a fact, if you go on YouTube, especially type in Samsung NX1, okay, it'll be 3 words: Samsung, then space NX space 1. Stream that in 4K if you have a strong enough CPU, and you will see resolution that is so sharp. Your 720p monitor will look like it's 4K, and I bullshit you not. That's because every pixel will have the color information that it needs.
How much data are we talking about because of 444?
444, I'm guessing maybe about 30% larger, if I'm right, or it's
Wow.
70% larger. But
And to bring it back to games, to video games, like look at I believe Genesis had a faster clock than Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo was able to display more colors, and that's why the games looked better.
Super Nintendo was able to, I think, display 256 out of a palette of 30,000 or something. It was like crazy. Where the Genesis was
64 or something, wasn't it?
64, and then I heard they did a computer trick where they were able to get 84 colors.
Yeah, I knew it was around 64.
And I know the TurboGrafx was able to have 512 in the system and be able to display 512. And tell you the truth, like the TurboGrafx came pretty close to the Super Nintendo. You know,
it did. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Bunk, specifically Bunk, yeah.
Well, what I was saying about the old thing, and like I'm just saying that maybe, just maybe, that like when you do something for so long, like something to you or something to someone that's coming in fresh that may be exciting or new. Obviously, it's not gonna be new. You've been doing it for forever. I even noticed that.
I counted that earlier. I explained that because when you've been playing visuals and they've been at a lower level for so long, you actually appreciate newer stuff more. Whereas younger people who've only been in the 3D era or the higher quality era might not appreciate newer visuals. So I actually disagree with that.
It's not only that though. There are a lot of gamers today that aren't old dinosaurs like some of us. That also. I guess they did a survey or something. They were, where gamers were saying that they were less satisfied with the generation so far, and I think it actually has a lot to do with what who's the Optimus Prime guy? I don't know who is that.
Legal Winning.
League. It has a lot to do with what you were talking about as far as the differences in the hardware and stuff. We live in a generation right now where Nintendo has been obviously getting bashed for the Wii U because the hardware was different. The third parties want the easiest way to copy and cut and paste their games on everybody's console. So when you have all the consoles that are pretty similar as far as their specs and what they do, you're not going to get much nuance. And so if everybody has basically the same thing, other than Wii U, obviously, then you're going to get that stagnation because there's no difference. So you have people fighting over resolutions that they can't really see with their naked eye, and stuff like that. And that's why you don't get that that nuance that you used to get in consoles. Even like PlayStation 2, Xbox the original and Dreamcast. I mean, those were very different consoles, and they had very different games a lot of times.
You know that you said that, which is, I would probably rather have, get away from x86 architecture, have Sony develop their own architecture, have Microsoft develop their own architecture, and just have all three consoles be completely different from each other. Even though some ports may not be that good compared to others, I would rather have them have something special and unique about each one of them. Because as of right now, they're identical. I mean, you get a little bit.
But that's the way third party wants it. That's the way they drive the industry. They tell the hardware manufacturers what they want. If you don't do that, you end up like Wii U. You don't get the game.
But there is a big benefit when everyone has a universal language, though, right?
No, there's only one benefit actually. It only benefits the developers and the publishers.
Yeah, because they say
it truly doesn't benefit the gamer, because what you guys are requesting, which is you guys want these consoles to really utilize things. Well, if they were all different and they wanted to bring a game to that system and they want it to function correctly, they're going to have to utilize the hardware. That's why the PS3 got a lot of bad ports, because PS3 wasn't that popular. It wasn't the favorable system, and they kind of just said screw them. That's why it benefits only the people that it brings money to. The consumer doesn't benefit.
No.
The only reason why Sony, Microsoft would want to do that is out of fear. What if if the Xbox One was different, like the PS4? Let's say the PS4 and the PC, it was x86, just like the PC. Blah 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 blah. You could swap games between the two so easily. And the Xbox One has really been thrown under the dust. Could you imagine if it had different architecture too? They would get like these crappy, like they already kind of get like some games that have low resolution, but they'll get like probably really fucked up games.
Well, the biggest benefit, because they always talked about it, and they would yap. The biggest benefit of x86 is what they're able to develop or code the game a lot quicker, up to 6 months to a year.
Yeah,
they're able to get that game out on the market quicker.
So you're able to get your rush game faster.
Yeah.
Your rush game faster. That's genius.
For this generation, basically, what are you looking for this generation that you did not get last generation? Like, what are the main keys that you like? You know what? I don't care for this generation. You know what I'm saying? Or I hear some of you say, "Oh, these consoles came out too fast," but then again, if these consoles wasn't out, you'd be begging for them, because you're like, okay, we're going into a decade now with the 360 and PS3. What are the key elements you wanted to play? You was looking for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and you could throw the Wii U in there. What did you want these consoles to do that you think they not?
Well, hey, I'm a tin bag, so I wanted different, and I got that with Wii U. I know that wasn't mass appealing, but it appealed to me. I love the off-screen play, especially having a family. Like my kids were playing on my gaming TV. They were playing GameCube, and I was in Smash Brothers with some friends, and I had my gamepad, and they could still use my TV to play their GameCube game. They're playing Mario Kart Double Dash, so that's awesome to me.
For me, I mean, like, I look at generations very differently. Like, I don't go in looking for something quote unquote new. I'm just looking for the game. So basically, like, let's say there were games that if I really thought about it, they could have probably ran on last generation. But if they were only on next gen, forcing me to get one, then I just get one. Like, I just go for the game, because there are a lot of games that now, like, obviously they could be on PS3, 360, and they are on PS3 and 360. But if they were only on next gen, then you would have to get the next gen console.
And me personally, like I would say everything. I wanted everything: graphics, MMOs, different type of internet online experience. Because why? Because gaming is console centric. All the interesting things in gaming industry all that real interesting stuff is happening on the consoles. Not on the PCs. It's on the console, so I expected everything.
League of Legends?
So what you're saying with that, Thanos, is that you want everything from the online, you know what I'm saying, to the graphics. Now,
Everything, the whole
I look
package.
at gaming. I look at gaming as different. I knew it was going to be a big leap this generation, and I remember me and Dave had this conversation before the two systems came out. I said everybody in YouTube is up in arms on. They just hear RAM. They just hear 8 gigs, and they just think it's to be this beautiful rainbow that's going to come across their TV screen. But yet they fail to realize it's not. It's that leap is not ready yet. When that leap comes,
Yeah.
be ready to pay some money. That's what
honestly,
I'm saying.
The problem is that we went from like 2005 when it, was 7th gen started, 2005, right? And if you look at the games that came out, it's on 360 and PS3 the next year, to compare it to what they put out in 2011, it's almost like night and day. And that was one of the reasons you didn't get that leap, because you got the leap in the same generation, at the end of the generation with some of these games, like the Uncharted.
That's a very good point.
It was such a huge leap during the actual.
Even if you look at Grand Theft Auto 5 on the
yeah,
PC,
look at GTA 5.
But check this out though. Let's be honest. If Halo 4, GTA 5, The Last of Us, those came out on next gen and never came out last gen, and look, they could have even looked like the last gen versions, but they just never existed on last gen. You would have thought that was next generation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the exact same thing. That's
I got a question for Mr. T, because I know you're a professional video editor, and I remember a computer programmer told me this one time. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to throw this question at you. Let's say your computer, which you edit on, and let me ask you this. How long does it usually take you to upgrade your hardware, your editing computer? You upgrade every 4 years or something?
Probably every 3.
Okay, every 3. Within 3 years, how much of a software upgrade do you see in your editing software?
Oh my gosh! Software-wise, I mean, you can probably see even 6 upgrades in 3 years.
Okay. The reason why I'm throwing this question at you, because this guy I used to know, he was a programmer. He worked in the some video game company here in Massachusetts. I think it was Mattel he used to work for. He said the reason why you see a big jump through a generation with hardware, he said, because the hardware is more advanced than the software.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes a while for the software for them to program better software to utilize that hardware.
Yeah, that's true. That's and software advances. Like I said, software advances pretty quickly because of the hardware.
Yeah,
like every 6 months or so, you can get an update and a visual and a performance update. So, I mean, I think that's the main problem that we had this last generation. Being that it was so long, is that they weren't starting to tap these consoles until 2011, 2012.
Hey Dave, I gotta go, but before I go, I wanted to ask Grim this question real quick. Grim, you think us older gamers, because I'm 41, I'm gonna be 41. Us older gamers, are we being too unrealistic, and with 8th generation within just 2 years?
No, and it has nothing to do with being older. I just think a lot of people, the reason I ask questions is because no one gives answers. Like, people say they want stuff, but then they can't tell me what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll say, "Oh, I want, I'm not getting what I want out of next generation." Well, what do you want? And I want better graphics. Well, I mean, these are better graphics. I mean, what level are you looking for? I don't know. So that's
one thing.
Well, I mean, that's what some people are requesting. I want better graphics. I want more AI on the screen. I'm just looking, and I'm like, they are doing that stuff. You want innovation in gameplay. Well, everybody keeps talking about these VR headsets, and the Wii U had this tablet. I mean, the tablet really wasn't used, but like they're just at this point, especially like on the internet, it just seems like people are saying they want stuff, And honestly, like I'm just sitting here like playing my game. I'm like, what you don't want anything. You just don't like. I'm just assuming you don't like playing games as much.
I'll
as
tell you what I want. I want the middleware market to come back, like we had in the sixth gen. If we had the variety of games that we had in the sixth gen with the graphics of today, you would hear no complaints from me. But we don't have like what happened to like licensed games. Like during the sixth gen, we had all these great EA James Bond games that had nothing to do with movies. Even it was just a license. Nightfire, Agent Under Fire.
Did those games do well or sell well? I don't think
they sold pretty well.
Like look at something like, did you get a Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah,
you picked that up.
Did I get Spider-Man? Yeah, I got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You picked up what else was a licensed game? You picked up
yeah.
I guess Batman. Did that count as licensed?
Yeah, Batman counts, but that's all you. You're not. We have how many superheroes that we have? We all we get is like Batman, which is pretty much the same.
You guys pick up the.
Well, I mean, licensed games that I could think of that just came out. Licensed games. Hold on, wait, Mr. T. Like,
I'm just saying. That's just one.
Mordor.
That's just one.
Mad Max, Spider-Man, Star Wars. Hold on, it's some more.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
That's not licensed.
I ain't saying shit.
You're getting them now, though. We're getting them right now. We weren't getting them this whole generation. This generation did start off really slow.
Oh, the generation that started.
It did.
I know, but still, I mean, come on.
Didn't the Wii U get a James Bond game?
The Wii U just.
I want to see if this keeps up like this. I want to see if these games just keep dropping like they are now. Then you could sit here and say, "Hey, we got a good generation." But I have a feeling we're going to hit another drought.
It's like
generation. He was just saying like, where's the license? He was just saying where are the licensed games? Not
no,
like.
But I'm just saying in general. You're saying there is games this generation. Yeah, about now it's just starting really to get good. But I want to see if they can keep this momentum going.
I mean, to be 100% honest with you, there was games from the jump. It just depends on what perspective you're looking at. Like if you were someone who like had a last gen console and you don't care about the graphical upgrade, then you would say that we didn't have that many games. But if you thought the leap was enough to buy these remasters and stuff like that, then you have had a lot of games. Just how you look at it.
They carried a lot of games over from last generation. They did. You can't. I mean, from the get go, that definitely.
Well,
like
you got
Assassin's
one company.
Creed, Call of Duty, those were all from last generation.
You got one company making a certain type of game. Back in the sixth generation, we had like 4 or 5 companies making a different version of that game. You had, this company did wrestling, and so did this company. This company, like the football games, they had 989. You had Madden. You had obviously Madden still around.
You guys bought.
You had all these different companies making, vying for your dollar. And making really different types of games, 2K games, the NFL 2K. There's only one company making it. I mean, it's just crazy to me that only one company is making a football game.
But that's what I'm saying. Like those games, the other games last generation were not purchased by people.
Well, last generation those games didn't exist either.
Yeah, they did. They had 2K football. They had Backbreaker. They had. They had
2K.
They had NFL Street. They had those games. Yeah, they didn't do well.
It was called All Pro 2K, and it was unlicensed.
But see, that's the thing. Like, does it really matter if the licensed football team is there or not? I mean,
but you focusing on one. I'm just making an example. That's not the entirety of the argument.
Oh, Transformers just came out. That's another licensed game.
Yeah, I bought which one? Which Transformer?
I think we got 2 Transformer games this generation. There was one that came out on the Wii.
There was one on the Wii U.
Yeah, one came out on the Wii U, and then one just came out, Devastation.
Yeah, no, we got 3.
Okay.
There was one on the Wii U 3DS. There was another one that was on PS3, 360, Wii U, PS4, Xbox One. There was another one that just recently came on 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One.
Actually, I have one more question from Mr. T. Do you feel that you had a more unique experience with first-party titles on the Wii U compared to your Xbox One? I'm talking about the games that Nintendo brought out, like the Bayonetta or the games that you can only get on the Wii U compared to the games you can only get on Xbox One.
So far, yeah. I mean, that probably will change in the next year and a half, but right now, definitely.
Do you think that had something to do with the Wii U having a different architecture, or do you think maybe it was the Japanese art style that these games are made in? You know, like the Wonderful 101, the Bayonettas, or you know.
I think it's more of philosophy than it is visuals and whatnot. And it looks like Microsoft is trying to adopt that philosophy too. They dropped paying for these third-party games. They dropped that. They're saying that they want to focus on their first-party stuff. So they're doing what Nintendo's already been doing. But the difference is they're going to have third-party as well. But they just won't have that. You know, they won't have the what do you call the exclusive content crap. You know, that's supposedly works on people, but I don't know, it doesn't work on me. But
I mean, my expectation for this generation was more features.
But you did get more. You did get more.
You got more features.
You got streaming.
A decent leap in graphics, which we got. We did get that. And maybe a new way to play, like a Game Pass type situation.
Well, one thing you guys did get that was kind of cool, which nobody really talks about, you actually don't even need a capture card with these consoles. Like, you can actually stream all your games. You got YouTube streaming now on the PS4, which I'm sure the Xbox One's going to have soon. You can stream to the Ustream, Twitch. You can upload gameplay. I mean, you couldn't do that with the other consoles. And now Xbox is going to have 12-player party chat, so they're definitely doing more stuff than the previous console was doing. I'll give it that. You know, I don't see a huge graphical leap, and maybe it's just you have to give them time. Like, I think Star Wars Battlefront looked damn good. In my opinion, that's the best one next gen.
Visually, you can do that on that.
Do you think Battlefield 4? Do you think Battlefield 4 compared to last generation, the leap was big?
Yes.
I thought Battlefield 4 is the best looking game on this generation until I saw The Order and Star Wars.
But what I'm saying is, you think, like, compared to the last gen copy of Battlefield 4?
Yeah, that was
a leap.
Yeah. But we're talking about a majority of the games don't look different. You got some that do have a difference, but there's a majority of them that don't look much different. Yeah. It's like these developers are basically being lazy, that I see.
You got to take the pros with the cons. You get the better visuals, but then you get less content in the game. Like if you want to compare like Battlefront to
no, don't get into that yet. We're gonna save it all for the end. Let's save it all for the end. I want to discuss two more things because we spent a lot of time on this one conversation. I didn't even plan to spend on this. Now, this one next thing, which kind of ties into this a little bit, something we touched on, and we will get to what Mr. T brought up. That's definitely gonna happen. I'm just saving it for the end. Do you think gamers nowadays just like to complain, like basically just whine about anything? And the majority of them that complain, do you think they don't even really plan on buying this shit in the first place? They're just jumping on the complaint train. That's all they're doing. I call it the complaint train, just like the hype train. People just join in to the argument and just say, oh, fuck this game, fuck that, there's not this, there's not that, and they don't even care about it. They just want to argue about shit. And that goes with a lot of stuff in the world, but it's getting real bad with gaming media, in my opinion. What do you think, Mr. T?
First part of the question, yeah. Easy. People like to complain. And I guess everybody else is coming around to this, but Nintendo fans, we've heard people complain about Wii U and Wii and had no intention of ever buying one. So it's kind of the same thing. If you're gonna complain about a game that you had no intention of buying, people have been complaining about consoles that they had no intention of ever buying. So it's kind of the same thing.
No, I agree with that. Like, I owned a Wii U, so I complained about that.
Yeah.
I was legitimate. I really did have a complaint with that console, but there was a lot of people that didn't even fucking own a Wii U, and it was like, I think, what's that guy's name? The guy that everybody hates, Michael Pachter. He says, with all the people complaining in the comments section, please tag your Wii U's number in the comments section, your social, you know,
serial number.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Put the number in there. He'd like to see that, and he said, "I guarantee half you don't even own a Wii U."
Yeah, a lot of the people complain or getting mad with him didn't even like you said. People like to complain. People who didn't even have a Wii U were out crying and defending it. It's like what? That doesn't compute. So it goes both ways.
I think it does tie to too. I think another thing when it comes into YouTube with people complaining about stuff they don't even give a fuck about. It kind of gets with views. You got people that complain about the Xbox One that fucking hate the console. Fucking couldn't even stand it. You know, they may own one. Now you do have these cases, people that own one that fucking despise it just to own it so they can say, "Hey dude, I own it. I can sit here and argue all day about it." You know, and you have those cases too. But then you have people that actually went out and bought games for the console, like myself. I bought games for the Wii U. I supported a third party too. Put up with it for 3 years, and I had enough. You know, after a while, I just seen them not supporting it. I was done. You know, I waited. You know, but you got dudes that just bought the console, don't even buy any games, don't even fucking play the thing. You know, and then just go off about it all the time. And that goes with games. Like games are coming out. You see people hating on games, they're like, yeah, fuck that game. I don't like it either. And they're going to make 10 million YouTube videos about it, how they just don't like it, you know.
Please let me throw this out here real quick. I have friends on my, I'm exposing some people. I ain't going to say no names, but I have friends on my Wii U friends list who I always see in the comment sections fighting and rah, 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 screaming. And I look on my Wii U, and they haven't played it in 40 days.
and that's the funny thing.
Came out. I'm like, really?
I made a video about that when I had the Wii U. When I was sitting there fighting, going on about the Wii U, I did a video showing people on my friends list that hasn't played in 30 days or more.
Last online 50 days ago, but you all.
Yeah, and some of these people were sitting here defending the Wii U. And they were talking about how it's okay, but they never played the fucking thing.
Can I chime in on this, Dave, quick?
Yeah.
With regards to this, right, with regards to the people complaining, I think we discussed it in the comments section. There's a difference, right, between the YouTube and the real life. So on YouTube, people tend to have a sheep mentality. So yes, the microtransactions thing is bad. Yes, it's bad. But I believe people are starting to get on like a snowball effect. One complains about it, then the other does, then the other does, because it gets hits. You don't see people talking about what they enjoy in games, what they like about the levels in games, the characters. It gets more hits and more action and more drama if there's a rant, Outside of YouTube, like my friends at work who don't even know about YouTube, yet they game a lot, if they like a game, they'll get it. Do you know what I mean? They won't get involved in the rant. They won't complain about gaming. They just enjoy the experience, and then that's
Preach.
It's the truth, though, isn't it, bro? On YouTube,
straight
it makes more drama to, I'm angry about this game. Oh, I'm ranting. Games are great.
You have these gaming channels. They never talk about like games and their experiences with games and what they liked about a game. What they'll talk about everything around the game. Everything around it. All politics now, brother.
You do a review on a gaming. Like I do. When I first started my channel, I did some gaming reviews, and I watched how people watch them videos to me going off about a company or something.
Yeah.
And then I started doing gaming reviews now, and they're doing all right, but not compared to my other videos.
Yeah, nobody's watching.
It's like you're talking to a blank audience. I love talking about games, but what's the point when you're not reaching hardly anybody? You know.
I made a just me gaming thing like I think it's like the 7. I did 7 videos on there, and that barely got views.
Yeah, this is it. It's what gets views is the ranting, and right now people are really on this whole microtransactions thing. Like I said, what EA done is bad. What Star Wars done, I don't approve of it with regards to the microtransactions. But the thing is, there's positives to focus on in games. Why don't you talk about what you're excited about in Uncharted 4? Yeah. Why don't you talk about what you liked about Transformers Devastation? Why don't you talk about what you're looking for in Fallout 4, the worlds, how they're going to create that? It doesn't get views, so people prefer to rant and complain. And it does... It's just people jumping on the bandwagon of complaining. Yeah. People enjoy doing it.
My channel is more of just a questioning channel. I mean, I don't complain. I don't really talk about things I'm excited for. I don't know, make a video. I don't even know what my channel is about. It's about games though.
But you're not your channel's pretty good, man. It's not like some of these people. You just don't rush to go make a video just to complain about something. You usually have legitimate arguments, you know. And everybody else in here that I've seen has.
And you're usually talking over gameplay. Which a lot of these other channels you don't see that. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think people are just like getting worse. And when I made this, which for our next topic, I guess I'll go into it now. I made this Star Wars Battlefront rant video just about like I saw what people were going on about with the premium or season pass, and I put that video together. I just put my camera down, shot it, and I was done. Didn't even think twice. Didn't even redo the video or nothing. Sometimes I'll redo a video a lot of times if I don't get something said how I want to say it. But that video I just went with. I didn't even think I'd get that much attention with it, and people got mad, cursing at me that I supported. Tearing me up in the comment section just because I'm not going to sit there and agree with everybody else and go on and
because call having a different opinion.
Yeah, but
did you see my comment?
Everybody's supposed to be mad right now. And if
I'm supposed to be pissed about, and I'm sorry to break this to anybody, but this shit has been going on with EA for at least the past 2 recent years, and it's been going on with other companies for over a fucking decade. Then they're comparing. Hey, now this is funny. So they're comparing. Now they're all up in arms about the content the game itself's got. Okay. So I said they're comparing Halo 5. They're like, oh, you're gonna get free DLC and all this. Okay, now let's take a game like Call of Duty Black Ops 3. I want to know what you're getting in that game with all the maps, just the game itself, no fucking season pass. And compare that to Star Wars, I guarantee it's about the fucking same.
Not much different.
Well, wait. Time out. Hold on. Flag on the play. Flag on the play. No, it's not the same.
Flag on the play?
Honestly, I don't really know everything about Battlefront.
Look.
What are you talking
Battlefield,
about?
you don't get a campaign, right? You don't get a traditional campaign, right?
They said Battlefront.
Yeah, Battlefront, my bad. If I say Battlefield when I'm talking, I mean Star Wars. They're the same. But Battlefront doesn't have a traditional campaign. Right, it just has like mission mode, and then the other modes.
What you're getting in the fucking game is survival mode. That's just pretty much the same, but it isn't offline.
Yeah, but there's other single player modes. We just don't know what they are yet.
But like everybody brings up this single player or these missions on the Battlefront 2, and I ask people, I go, okay, so if you're all upset these things aren't in this game, what were they like? They said, well, I'll have to go look at a YouTube video. But I was like, why do you have to go look at a YouTube video? It should be right here. You should remember it. If it's not worth the fucking shit, then it's not worth putting in the fucking game in the first place.
No, wait. Hold on, you're talking about Battlefront 2 single player?
I'm talking about Battlefront 2 and 1. What the fuck was these missions that were worth this shit? I remember playing the fucking online that was like Conquest, and it was fun. I played on the original Xbox. Had a blast.
Well, I have Battlefront 2 on Steam, right? And I remember talking to you about it, and I said from what I remember, Battlefront 2's campaign, I couldn't really remember it that well.
That's what I'm saying.
But listen to what I'm saying, though. I just got it on PC because I played the beta for Battlefront, and I wanted to play Battlefront, so I bought it on Steam, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of shit in Battlefront. That story, the story was just recreations of stuff that happened in the movies.
In the movies.
But the point is, that's not even like let's be honest. Even back then, that was kind of lazy. He didn't have his own plot.
I think that's more the principle. Yeah. I think it's the principle of it.
But going back to comparing it to Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has a single player, 4-player co-op story mode that you could customize and level up your character in. Then it has zombies mode, which has its own plot.
Grim, what I'm saying is when we go to the online multiplayer part of the game of Call of Duty, how many maps are you getting off the rip?
I think around 12 or something, a little bit more than that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not much of a difference, I would say. I don't even know if it's 12. Is there 12 maps they're giving you?
Normally, I think it is like around 12. But what I'm saying is, as Call of Duty, which gives you technically 3 completely different modes, where Battlefront, honestly, is just that multiplayer. Yeah, I got the other modes, but it's really just that multiplayer.
That's what I'm saying. I can say, okay, you know what I want? This is what I want to do. Let's take the fucking online right out and let's just give them their mission mode and let's see if they're fucking happy then. When they go buy it, go run to the stores and buy it then?
What are you talking about, Dave? I think they'll not buy it even more.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd like to see EA do that. You're like, all right, guys, you want a mission mode? We're gonna take the online away since you don't care about that, and we'll give you fucking mission mode. And then that should sell like hotcakes. Then, you know.
I don't get what you're saying.
My Xbox was rarely online. I probably in the time I had it, I probably maybe 2 years of use out of it of Xbox Live on my original Xbox, and Battlefront. I mostly played, you know, just the campaign, single player stuff, because it was. I mean, there was a lot in there to do offline.
You had the Galactic Conquest. You had a mode where you could. It was kind of like multiplayer, but it was just with bots. You could actually play an online mode, but you just had bots instead. And the bots.
You know what? I missed out. I guess I didn't play Battlefront 2.
I didn't say you didn't play it, man.
No, I'm just saying. I don't remember any of this stuff you guys are talking. I remember playing the online.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember a lot of it either until it was almost like a flashback when I pressed start on that executable and played the game. I'm like, damn, I forgot all the vehicle variant. I forgot this game had classes.
Yeah.
Like, back at that time, I had never played Battlefield, and I'm playing this game again, and I'm realizing, wow,
like
Battlefield
classes or something.
Yeah, Battlefield and Star Wars Battlefront had a lot in common. But if you want to compare Battlefield to Star Wars Battlefront today, Battlefront don't even have classes anymore.
Yeah.
You remember how you were saying like you don't have like every class doesn't have a pistol, Dave? Every class in this game has a pistol. Every class in this game has like some variation of a sidearm. Like it's completely it's a better experience. But I've talked about this on other podcasts saying to comparing it to the old game is odd. Because yes,
it is odd. Because this is the time. This is the funny thing is somebody sent me the comparison. They said, "Okay, damage control this," and they sent me a comparison of Star Wars Battlefront 2 to the new one. And I said, "This is easy. Scroll down the bottom. 2005, 2015, shit like that don't go on no more. I can go back with. I could sit here and say, "Oh, I want the old games how they used to be with all these."
It's kind of like Forza, isn't it? It's kind of like Forza 5 and Forza 6.
Yeah.
Forza 6 has got much more. Forza 5 and Forza 4 on the 360. Forza 4 on the 360 had the much more content, but that's because
they're stripping shit out.
They actually said this is a reboot. It's not number 3. It's a reboot. I'll just quickly say on the plus side, everybody's moaning about this game. Everybody's saying the transactions got nothing in it. I actually thought it was a fucking great game to play.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I thought it looked great. I thought the sounds were great. I thought it was really uplifting. I'm not even a massive shooter guy, but this game has actually got me back into shooters.
Do you guys think that
all I'm hearing is
that they were expecting those modes, though? Do you guys think that they were expecting those modes, or do you guys think it was a standard?
I think the difference is they're responding to the market, and the gamer today he'll go get that game that has maybe it has a campaign on it, maybe it doesn't, but he'll go get the game that has a campaign on it, and he'll skip that and jump right online. So these guys are like, why should we waste our time putting a campaign in these types of games when nobody plays it anyway?
Now about the whole season passing,
Mr. T, do you just think it's a lot of gamers don't like being told that, like they don't like that people are just like these developers are just telling them no, there ain't gonna be one. They want to be like, it just seems like people don't want to be told no. Like, nope, there's not this.
It's like if you never heard, if these games just came out and you didn't think about that kind of stuff, like let's say for example, Super Mario Maker, right? It had before it came out, they announced that you had to play the game like 5 minutes a day to unlock new tools and whatnot, and that that doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But because they announced it ahead of time, people are like, oh, I want all the tools right away. Well, if you got the game, and that's how you play the game, I used to play games where you had to do stuff and then you unlock content and you can go further in the game. That's how it works.
That's the natural process of the game, then it's fine. But it's because they said it up front.
Because they announced it up front.
Yeah.
It's people like, oh, I want everything. You don't even know what everything is.
Yep. And do you guys think, like, with the game, the old Star Wars came out in 2005, and today is 2000. We're in the year 2015. I could say that with a lot of games that they're saying. They're like, oh, well, the old one had more, or had the game was different, but they don't take into consideration, fighting games nowadays. Like the old Killer Instinct was different from back then. These games, even Mortal Kombat, is totally different from what we got from now to back then. All these games are like that.
But I would argue that Mortal Kombat gives you at least more equivalent to what you got back in the day.
Oh, people complained about Mortal Kombat X. You got over. I want to see this with the new Mortal Kombat. Compare that to some other fighting games, which you get off the rip with as many characters as they give you. Not even counting the combat pack, you get a decent amount of fucking characters in that game. And you still got people complaining. Nobody's forcing you to buy these extra characters.
But see, are they complaining about the base game, or are they just complaining about the DLC content?
Everything. The base game, the DLC content, they're saying, oh, the base game don't have enough, then we don't want to pay for the premium. Or
this is what I have to say, Dave. This is the only answer I can give you. The same people complaining are the same people going to buy the game. So at that point, I would just ignore them. Yeah. Same people that complain about Splatoon bought Splatoon. Same people complain about everything buys the same thing they're complaining about.
Well, then you got a lot of them that complain that never even plan on buying the fucking thing in the first place. You got because that category.
They like to complain too.
They don't even play that kind of games to begin with.
But some people like to complain.
Mm-hmm. I just want to enjoy gaming, man. I just want to enjoy gaming. I thought Star Wars was great.
There's way more positives in gaming than negatives. But you wouldn't know that.
Jesus, brother, preach.
You wouldn't know that coming into this gaming community.
Exactly. This is what my message just gets drowned out. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, there's some niggles. There was some problems with Battlefront. It wasn't perfect. I'd like to see more walkers. But as far as the game goes, it was a fun game, and no one's talking about it.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying in another podcast. In another podcast, I was saying comparing it to the old Battlefront, it's odd. Number one, because it's not the same developers, it's not the same time period. The reason you got all that single player content, because back in those days, you had that was it. That was the main attraction. Yeah. That was the main attraction, and it was just so by I would say by luck almost that the multiplayer of that game was great too. It was just a full package. Now this game,
you know what's funny? Okay, I'll give you guys this. Mr. T can remember the single player, but you know most people that I talk to, they have to sit there and tell me they're going to go look up a YouTube video.
You already failed.
But see, how many of those people are just trying to make a comparison? Like, you got to remember, there are people that just don't like EA, and like and to be 100%. I mean, you're taking a good shot in the dark to say that the old Battlefront had more content than the newer one made by EA. You know what I'm saying?
Never even played the old Battlefront.
That's what I'm saying. When I bought that game on Steam and I played it, I remember exactly when I played Battlefront 2. I took it from my friend. It took me back to the flashback when it was summertime. I took it from my friend. I played the hell out of it, and he asked me where it was. And I said, "You're not getting it back. I'll give you $20 for it."
I remember playing Battlefront 2 on the PSP, and I couldn't load the game for some reason. I think it froze on me or something.
On PSP.
Now, I have a question though. Off the rip, with Star Wars compared to most online multiplayer games out there, do you think they're giving you less maps than from the start on most online multiplayer games?
How many maps you get?
Not including the season pass, which will give you extra. I'm talking about the base game. Are they giving you an unfair, amount of maps compared to
how many maps you get in Battlefront?
Off the top of my head, I think it's 12 maps in Battlefront, and 4 of them are Walker Assault. I don't know if that's right. That's what I'm guessing.
Well, majority of games by default give you like 12, 16 maps. So
that's fine. Like 11, maybe 16, 11 to anywhere from 11 to 16.
The only thing I'm disappointed in, I wanted Walker Assault. That's my favourite mode, but it's only going to be 4 maps in that. That lets me know a little bit.
Yeah, that is some stuff that's a little bit egregious. And when I complain about this stuff, I'm complaining because I'm a certain type of gamer, and the industry doesn't really cater to me anymore. I'm more of a single player experience. That's what I am, and so I don't get that anymore. I don't get it as much in a lot of these games. So if I'm complaining, it's legitimate because I'm used to that happening. But a lot of people they haven't even played these older games, and then they make the comparisons because they saw somebody else do it.
Oh yeah,
it's just like I got a complete comparison. I don't know if I'm gonna upload it yet. Well, it's not me actually showing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 footage, but I got like Thug 2 compared to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, and the customization, the things you can do. First of all, I can't even describe that the physics feel better unless you play the game, but Why? Like sometimes because I lived in that time, it's like, why am I explaining the obvious? Like this game is broken. This game wasn't. That's all you need to know. This old game worked. This new game doesn't work.
All right, guys. See you later.
Later,
All
Levon.
right,
later,
hey,
brother.
man,
See you,
take it
man.
easy.
Thanks for joining, man.
Well, thank you.
Peace.
I don't have my Battlefront loaded, but I wanted to see. I think if you look at the base games to a lot of games and compare them to others, you're not getting much different. I mean, it might be a little less on Star Wars Battlefront, but for overall, I'll say this for the damn game. What I played of it was fucking fun. You know.
Yeah.
100% agree.
My complaint with it was there wasn't many guns, but when you really think of it, how many fucking guns are there in the Star Wars
Exactly,
universe?
in the movies,
Are they gonna make up guns
They have
just
to
for
make up
fucking
crap, and
the
it's going to be
game?
looking weird. And it's like, what is that?
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, let's get real here. You know, I think people are just complaining to complain. You know, and now with the premium. So I want to know, out of all you guys, were you shocked that EA was doing a $50 season pass?
I was.
Oh man, I was so shocked that I fell asleep.
Yeah,
I was
not
shocked.
shocked.
Like I was really expecting like $100 season pass, $50.
Okay, well, I could respect that less than what most people said it should be $20. And I even got a comparison to the, and you were in the comment section, and you know I respect Black Bond and everything. Black Bond told me The Witcher, you know, but The Witcher, that's a single player game compared to an online multiplayer first person shooter.
Focus game, right?
Single player games, I would hope not would be $50, you know, compared to online multiplayers, which most of them, and you know what most people should be blaming is fucking Call of Duty and the developers for that started all this fucking shit on consoles.
Well,
I think that's the game really to blame for season passes if you don't like them.
Well,
and premiums.
Dave, can I say something?
Yes.
I used to be a huge fan of a game called Crimson Skies on the original Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I remember, I think all the DLC was free. And I remember sometimes, you know,
was that biplane game?
yeah, really fun shooter. It was different, flying around. I know there's other shooter games like flying around, but that one was just really fun. You know, that all that DLC was free for that game. And I even remember being in the chat rooms with other gamers, and we would have to tell the guy, hey, you need to leave the game, we'll wait for you, and download the DLC and come back. Because like maybe there was a map we wanted to play, and one guy didn't have it. You know, with Call of Duty, when all these games where they have these season passes, where you have to pay for DLC. You know, and this has nothing to do about money at this point. It breaks the community down. So half the community, 30% of the community, they get DLC, and the other community doesn't get it.
Yeah, but there's still people that play it. I mean, that argument's been going on for a while that breaks the community down, but then people somehow always magically end up with fucking getting the season pass or something, or getting the map packs.
Yeah, but also, I do know this for a fact that a lot of the big YouTubers who are COD players who got the DLC for Black Ops 2 complained, and I can't explain it why, but who got DLC said it screwed up their connection, or you know, it was just really weird.
Well, that's their fault. The company for not doing it right. That's another issue that can happen, but that's not. I mean, these companies are not out to give you stuff. It's to make money, like a business. I hope when people work, you know, like we don't go out and do free work. You know, I mean, I hope none of you guys are working for free and doing stuff.
Yeah,
I was a company. I would expect.
Cliff Kumbisky, the creator of Gears of War,
Cliffy B.
Cliffy B.
Cliffy B.
He made a statement. I'm not sure if he still believes in this, but I remember him saying this, that he believes in free DLC. And the reason why he believes in free DLC is because when you give something to somebody every 3 months, you give a new map or whatever it is, that keeps an interest in that game so it doesn't go to GameStop and go back on the shelf as a used game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was his philosophy. That, you know, Gears of War, that they would give you a couple of new maps here and there, and there were less copies at GameStop. You know.
I mean, when it comes to like the the microtransactions, DLC, like it's really tricky. Like I said on a Real Gamers podcast, I said like 9 times out of 10 we don't know if these developers actually took stuff out of the game. Only when like we find this on the disc or something, we can speculate all we want, but do we know for a fact? I don't know. You know, until a hacker hacks the disc, and I'm like, okay, I can see that. Like Tekken versus Street Fighter, the characters that were DLC characters were on the disc. You know, so I know that they did that. No developer comes out and say, yeah, we took stuff out the game and sold it to you later.
Well, you know how many maps this has off the rip?
Go.
9. Okay, you know how many Star Wars Battlefront the new one has? 8.
Yeah, that's gonna be boring as shit after a while.
Well, that's why you
Battlefront
buy the
has 8?
season pass like you did in this one.
Hold up, Battlefront has 8?
This has 9. Battlefront has 8.
Damn, I thought it was 12.
Oh, wow.
No,
Hold on, wait a minute.
this
See, that comes with a story
Oh,
mode.
now Battlefront, I could be wrong. It says 8 total, so I'm thinking 8 total maps. It says 4 planets. So what does that mean? 8, or does it go?
Hold on, I could tell you how many. You're looking at that little thin piece
That
of
little
paper
list.
thing. Yeah, don't need
This
that.
has 9 maps from the get-go in it. That's all you get. And I didn't hear people shitting themselves over
That
this.
little piece of
9
paper
maps.
comparing it to Battlefront 2, that thing is so old, it probably hasn't been updated.
No. This is for the new Battlefront.
No, I'm saying, are you looking at that black and white list where it's comparing it to the old
Yeah,
Battlefront 2?
it says the old Battlefront had 33 total, which is a big difference from the old one. But you got to think, we're in 2015. They're not going to give you like they used to with like they do with a lot of games.
Yeah.
But 8 total maps for this, and they didn't raise hell about that. They were just getting 8 maps, you know. And there was a premium for this one for $50. And you know what's a funny thing, which I noticed when this came out compared to Battlefield 4, they skimped you a fucking map pack for your premium. They gave you 5 on Battlefield 4, and Battlefield Hardline you only got 4 map packs with the $50 premium.
I think your point is that we're not getting consistent bitching. We're getting nitpick bitching.
Yeah,
People decide what game they want to cry about instead of holding each game as accountable as the other game.
Battlefront gives you 12 multiplayer maps.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, that list you're looking at is that list was created
so you're getting more at the start than this.
That list that you're looking at was like created when they first announced Battlefront for next generation.
Oh,
That list is old as dirt.
We're getting more than Battlefield Hardline off the rip.
I see a Dave video coming.
Yeah, it's coming. I mean, that don't make any sense though. Now, I was told you know what I was told? I was told I was milking my videos on Star Wars when I made a video, the first one, and then I had explained myself what I meant, so that's milking it. And then I made one about season passes and premiums, what they're actually for. So I was told I was milking it, but I see on this site dudes make videos about other dudes. They can make hundreds of them, and that's all right. They're not milking nothing there.
It's just what me and Mr. T was saying. It's more fun talking. It's more fun complaining, bitching, than it is talking about excitement.
Well, when I'm actually talking about gaming, I'm told I'm milking stuff, but I could attack somebody 10 times, and it's all right.
If people don't know that, when you come on my comments page, for example, you'll write loads of stuff about games. We're just talking about how excited we are about Battlefront, how excited we are about Far Cry Primal and whatnot. But people won't do that in videos because it's not exciting. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I think it's. I don't know. Sometimes I sit here and I think, okay, maybe we're dealing with a lot of underage subscribers, like they're all 17, 16. But then I click on their little names and icons, and I notice some of these dudes are older than I am, and I'm 31.
Yeah.
They're actually 40-year-olds acting like children in comment sections.
It's like people like are complaining that they're charging for emotes or the little dance moves in Destiny, and I'm like, I don't think that's a problem.
I mean, if you're
that's what I'm saying. If you want, if they're gonna sell you an emote and you want it to the point you're gonna pay for it, that's your business. That's how.
And you know what, Grim? They wouldn't make them and sell them if they didn't know people were gonna buy them. They wouldn't just make this shit for their health. They know people actually buy that shit, and they do. And then you'll just have these idiots bitching about it, but they're actually selling the shit. But not to the people that are usually bitching about it. There's other. See, a lot of people think YouTube is it. They just think, oh, this is the mass world.
Exactly.
No.
It's nothing.
I'll tell you one thing.
YouTube is the minority. The average gamer, if they want it, they buy it.
in the discussion.
Yeah,
and
they're
then
not
9 times out of 10,
sitting here looking
if they get burnt on something, they don't even care. They don't even notice.
Exactly true.
Yeah,
That's
they're
what I
not
said back
losing
then with the
sleep
friends that
over
I've
it
got.
like these people.
Yeah.
They buy
No,
a game they didn't like. They say, "Oh, I guess I just lost some money. Fuck it. I guess."
Exactly.
I mean, I see dudes on here literally, and then when they get shit for nothing, like I saw somebody bitching about the order that they got for $20, but then went out and bought Until Dawn for $60 and loved that game.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to say
least the order has play. At least the order has.
I thought the order was okay. Few many cutscenes, but that's about it. I thought it was alright.
No, but I'm saying if you compare that to the Until Dawn, you're basically watching the whole game, and that's basically what you're doing in the order. But you have some gameplay in the order.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
You know, and I saw this dude complaining that he had spent $20 on it. I was like, damn, I could maybe if you spent $60, then I could see your complaint. But you only got it for $20, and you probably had it given to him. This person, and I was like, this is fucking unreal. You know, nitpicking the game. Oh, you know, he's complaining about game looked beautiful, but they couldn't do the reflections right. The character couldn't look good in the reflection of the mirror.
I thought the order was absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. I thought it was visuals. Were great.
Well, you know, it is different though because I didn't buy Metal Gear, and you heard me complain about Metal Gear, but
yeah, but
I still didn't buy it either. So it's like,
but I
that
mean,
big of a deal.
I see this go on with this dude all the time. I'm not talking if you do it once in a while, but that's just crazy just to see that at all. Like somebody just rambling on in videos that are complaining about games that he's getting for nothing. You know, I could see if he's out there buying these games all the time, but he's making rant videos about it, and it's just stupid after a while. You know, I can understand certain people's situations and stuff, but I mean, I seen that and it blew me away. And you know, it's funny. He was like the harshest damn critic when it came to the order, like tearing it apart. I'd love to play that for $20. You know.
Dave, you getting Battlefront day one?
Yeah, I'm getting it day one, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of help for it.
Getting it on.
Now that's
we're
the
going
problem.
to for it.
Well, before all this happened, you know, and everybody changed their mind that they're not getting it after they loved the beta, and then all of a sudden all this news came out. I had a lot of friends that were getting it on the PS4, and I haven't asked them. You know, I had it pre-ordered for the PS4, but I might change it to the Xbox One because I know more people now getting it on the Xbox.
Yeah, I've got a guy at work. He's getting it on Xbox One.
Yeah, so I might change it. And I got more space. I got more space on my Xbox One. I don't have much space on my PS4.
Well, I think we should both get it day one, stream it, and be like, "This game is great!" And we're gonna get the multi-season pass.
Yeah. and I'm getting the premium. I don't know if I'm gonna get it day one, but I will have that premium. I usually with the premiums, like I didn't get Battlefield Hardlines premium until it actually came out. Like 2 weeks before it came out, that's when I bought it. And I did it with Battlefield 4 too. I actually got it later on, but I will get the premium. I'm just not sure day one because you got Tomb Raider. And now the one game I am disgusted with, and it wasn't because of like really the gameplay, was Rainbow Six. I did not like the connection. That connection was awful. Like it took so long to get into a match, and then when you did get into a match, it was like 2 minutes and it was over.
Yeah, I got it on PS2, and I got kicked out. I got booted. I had error messages. That I know. I understand
the Rainbow Six on. Like, what would you play the beta on?
I played it on PS2. Sorry, PS4. I played it on PS4.
What now? I played on the Xbox One. How the servers run on that and the connection? Was it awful too, like the Xbox?
Yeah, I kept getting kicked out of games. Kept seeing error messages come up. I understand it's a beta. That's 100% understand that. But you still take a little bit of that into your mind, thinking, I know it's a beta, but
it ran like that the whole time it was out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What are we talking
It just didn't run like that day one. It ran like that the whole fucking time it was out. They never fixed that. So if it's that bad, this close to release, I don't see it being much better.
Yeah.
You know, like
Ubisoft has been slipping, like
yeah, they are
all
the
their
new
games
EA.
lately.
They have turned into EA, and EA, in my opinion, actually is getting better. I think. You know,
I think Ubi is getting better and Ubi is getting a little worse.
Yeah, I think I played the Need for Speed beta, and it was actually better than Rivals. I'm not going to say it was the best Need for Speed. I'm not going to say it was the worst Need for Speed. It was halfway decent. You know,
It wasn't as good as the one on PS2. No, stuff.
But it wasn't bad. You know, people complained about that. Oh, there's cheesy actors. What are they supposed to get Bruce Willis to play in fucking Need for Speed?
There's always been cheesy.
They've always been. Well, yeah, they always been cheesy.
Yeah, they've always been cheesy. They've never been like.
So this is when you know people. You know, people are making crap up. This is when you know they haven't played the games that they.
That's like someone saying Mario has on a red hat. He's always having a fucking red hat.
Yeah. I mean, and another beta that is coming out, if nobody knows, I don't know when it starts, but if you ever bought the Wolfenstein, the New Order, they used to have that Doom beta that was supposed to come. I watched Solid Rev's video, and he said he showed where they actually posted the beta now. So whoever still has it, I traded mine in, unfortunately. I guess they're getting ready to drop the Doom beta.
Well, if you got the slip, you can get it. You should be able to get in. I can't get in. Like, I thought I would be able to. I bought it on Steam, but I bought it, I guess, after the beta was up. Like, to get into the beta was up.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think I lost whatever. I don't have the disc no more, and I never put a code in either because there was no beta to put in for nothing. So I don't know if I can still do it somehow. I might have to go out and buy it. I don't even know if you can go out and buy it again. I think that was just for pre-orders. You get
for the pre-orders. Yeah, I got the beta. I put it in at the time, so I'm just waiting for the email.
Right.
I'm gonna ask a quick question.
It took so long. I never thought they were gonna drop the beta.
Ages, wasn't it?
I'm gonna ask a quick question to Mr. T. Mr. T, with the loss of two great soldiers in the Wii U battle, Zombie U and Sonic Lost World, is this a heavy loss?
Those were two of the strongest exclusives. Nah, I mean, like Zombie U could have been like that game, but they just didn't. They didn't go the extra mile with it. And then they took the uniqueness out of it and brought it over. I mean, because there's nothing stellar about Zombie U. Obviously, the atmosphere is really good, but technically, it looks like a mid 8th gen game or a mid 7th gen game visually. And the one cool aspect of it was the gamepad and having to go into it, and then there are zombies coming while you're trying to pull out your weapon and all that kind of stuff. And they took that away. They took that suspense away. So I don't. It's just now it's just a mediocre. To me, it's a mediocre. I don't know why they would move it over.
You know what Zombie U and the Wii U, and this isn't an insult, but you know what the Zombie U and Wii U reminds me of? What? You know how you watch those movies and they have like those fake game systems in the movie? I could imagine someone playing Zombie U and you think it's one of like those fake video games they made real quick.
I totally know what you're saying. It totally looks like one of those fake pre-rendered games, or the guys are clicking the controller and it's not moving anywhere near to what their movements on the controller are.
Yeah.
And it just looks fake and pre-rendered, and yeah, I totally see that, because that's what it looked like when they first showed the first trailers of it. I was like, it looked like what they were doing with what's the game that was on Wii that got the second one was way better, but I can't remember
the Conduit.
No. It was a Ubisoft game. The sword fighting and the
gun. Red Steel.
Red Steel. Red Steel with all that pre-rendered stuff they were showing in the beginning of that game on Wii. That's what Zombie U felt like to me. But that game was actually a lot better. So
I liked Zombie U. I thought it was good. I played that on the Wii U. That was one of my favorite games on the Wii U. I could see if nobody ever played it, they'd probably like it. But I do think the Wii U version probably was better. I didn't play the PS4, but from what I've seen, it looked like the Wii U version was better. Just to be honest, from what I've seen. I wasn't buying that game again. I just wasn't. Even though it was $20, which isn't bad, but I believe in remasters and all that. If you haven't,
well, they didn't remaster it. That'd be one thing if they upped the graphics and.
Well, no, I'm saying like any redo, if you want to call it maybe a redo, a remaster, or a remake. I think you have to have not played the game, or you're a huge fan of that game.
Yeah, you just want to play the game.
But that's my take on it. Like the Uncharted collection, I picked that up. I just beat 1 the other night, and I'm almost getting close to beating 2. Love the game, but if somebody's already played that, I don't see the point in buying it again. If you're a big fan of it, I think you should maybe buy it, but you have to be like a big fan of the franchise.
I'm a big fan of the franchise, but that's not enough for me to buy it.
Like,
I already have them, and
I saw somebody got the collector's edition of that, and it was actually cool. It came in a steel case, and it looked cool. Like, that would be something you would collect because you like Uncharted, But I think it is. If you haven't played it, that's the way to go. Like I loved it. I
Yeah,
loved
if you never
playing
played that,
that.
that is a great. Yeah, that's a great.
I picked this
great
up the
game.
other day, just yesterday on sale. I was standing right in front of GameStop. They God of War 3 remaster. I've never played it, so that was just they're doing it for a couple days. So I was like, I was gonna wait till Black Friday and grab it because it's $40 usually new, and I just grabbed that.
Yeah.
So there's, that one I didn't mind getting either. But if you already played that, then there really is no point getting it.
Yeah.
Like I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 again, and something told me in my head, why am I doing this? But then I don't know. They're releasing a lot for the online. That's why I did get it again because I never really got into online. But I played the game. I got halfway through the campaign again. I said, nope, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do it again. So I just been playing the online every so often. I have people now ask me on streams because they actually are. What I want to mention, they actually announced.
Before you go into
today.
that, I think our brother from across the pond wants to get out of here. He's getting late over there. So.
Oh no! I just said yeah. 5 a.m. I'm gonna bounce soon, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm about to shut it down. I was just covering one more thing.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5 Online. They released the Lowrider DLC. Is that gonna? From me, is it a story online mode or is it just cars?
Just the vehicles.
It looks like that guy Lamar. Is that his name, Lamar? His buddy. He's in it, like talking. It looks like they're gonna do like a whole like '90s thing with it. I don't know if it's like a little bit of a. Yeah, I don't know if it's a little bit of a story with it.
That's interesting. I thought it was just the cars. If it's an actual side mission.
No, you see like a little story going on with it too. If you watch the trailer. Okay. And there was one more thing too I want to talk about besides this, the Friday the 13th thing. I did want to mention.
Oh yes.
But just covering. Did anybody see this Lowrider thing on GTA?
I basically saw it in my trailers, and because I don't play GTA Online, so I instantly thought, not because I don't like it, just too many games. I just instantly.
Free. Now that's free, right? All their DLC is usually free for the online.
I believe so. But when I saw Lowriders, I just literally thought you can now use Lowriders in the online mode and basically ignored what I saw on my sub feed. But if it's an actual little mini side story, yeah, I'd get that because I love GTA. I play the
you have Grand Theft Auto 5, right, or no?
Yeah, I've got Grand Theft Auto 5 on 360, beat it on that, and on PS4. Love the game.
Then you just get the free upgrade. I don't think this costs. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't think this costs anything because they just added a bunch of stuff to the. Just like a couple. It was on beginning of October. They gave us an update, like a werewolf mode.
It looks good. The Lowrider thing looks good. You know me, Dave. If it's all about that gangster shit, I'm on it, brother.
So I will say, Rockstar, to all you people that don't like buying DLC, they do it right for you. They give you free DLC. Now another thing, Friday the 13th. I've been waiting since it's been announced last year, but I did not know it's a Kickstarter, so I don't know. It was supposed to come out this Halloween with the movie and the TV show. Now I notice I don't hear nothing about the movie, I don't hear nothing about TV show, and I just heard something about the game, but it said a Kickstarter. So that we ain't getting it this. We ain't getting it this.
I've seen it. I read up on it the other day. I like the films. I've seen all the old films. And the concept looks really, really good. And this might actually be the first Kickstarter which actually back because apparently they're saying they're going through the Kickstarter because they want to do it with full nudity, full gore, really, really in-depth sort of violence, which is how the films. I'm not some sick bastard. It's what the films are about.
How the films are, yeah.
Yeah, it's how the films are. So I actually thought I might actually drop 40 on that, but then I asked somebody because I don't know about Kickstarter.
Now, you talking about drop 40 on the Kickstarter or
on the Kickstarter? Game? On a Kickstarter because apparently that. Well, what it is that gives you the game, but if they back out, I don't know if you lose your money. So basically, if I drop 40 on it, you get your name in the credits as well as a copy of the game. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, see, that's how Kickstarter works. Like, I've been so disillusioned because so many projects in Kickstarter haven't come to fruition. If they don't get the money within the allotted time, you get it back. If they don't make all the money that they, their first goal, not the stretch goal, but their main goal. If they don't make that money, if they only have $1 left and they don't get it, you get all your money back. Everybody gets their money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I might do it, yeah.
Once they make that goal, it's pretty up in the air. I mean, most people come through. but some people have not come through. Once they made the money, they realized they couldn't do what they wanted to do, and people just got screwed.
If you had to guess a percentage of the amount of Kickstarters which actually just roughly go through, because I don't really know much about them. What would you say? Like 70% of them are successful?
I would for video games, I would think it's probably more around 80 for games. I don't hear too much about them not coming through. Yeah. Most of the times, what you get is like delays. You get the game doesn't come out on time, but usually the game will come out eventually.
Yeah, because there's all these issues with Mighty Number 9 and that, isn't there?
Right.
Like where is that game? That game's that was supposed to be out last March.
I thought you was making that game. Where is it, Mr. T? You're making it, yeah?
What's that?
I said I thought you was making that game, bro. Where is it?
Well, the problem is that's a whole nother podcast, man. Because if we get into that, it's just
Well,
he tried to start a company before he finished the damn game, and that's the problem. He wanted to put up all these other things and build this comic books and all this crap before finishing the first damn game.
Getting the actual game done.
Right. Yeah. So that was the problem with that.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say, there was a lot more I want to get to, but we got in that one discussion that went on forever. Yeah. I do appreciate all you guys joining Wiggy Gaming. First time on the podcast. I appreciate it. Hope you come back for more.
Thanks for having me on, bro. Big fan of your content. You go in. You're a beast. Thank you very much, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Oh, and before I do everybody's outros, I do owe some shout-outs, like I said I would. First, I want to give a shout-out to this man needs no introduction, RXL209, for all your support, man. I appreciate the shout-out on one of your latest videos. Thank you, buddy, as always. You
trolling bastard.
I appreciate everything you do. And RXL, me and RXL will probably do a podcast this week, like a one-on-one some kind of discussion or something to cover. He was supposed to be in this podcast, but he has a time difference, and he wouldn't have got in until probably I would have had to do the podcast 2 in the morning, and it wouldn't have worked for everybody. So we will be doing that podcast, if not this weekend, sometime.
Is there going to be Wealthy talking that podcast?
There'll be a lot of. Oh, we're going in on the Wealthies. The second shout out, I never expect. Well, second shout out, Geek Essentials, Shaner123, and Tech Rev. Thank you guys for all your support. You watch all my live streams and help me out. I appreciate everything you guys do. And the third shout-out, I never thought I'd be giving this shout-out, but I told the dude I would, and I gave him a shout-out in my last video, Terminator Juice. I was really shocked. I almost fell over and fucking dropped dead when I saw this video. He did a Star Wars Battlefront opinion video, and his point, I was waiting for him to say, come out and be like, well, I played the Star Wars Battlefront beta just like how everybody else did it, and now you loved it and then completely hated it when all this news came out. Nope. He was fair, honest, and he was on point. And I never thought I would agree with that guy, and we agreed. So shout out to Terminator Juice. I'm not just giving him a shout out because I agreed with him, but I was actually shocked with his opinion. And you know what? I think that was a really good video he did, in my opinion. So shout out to Terminator Juice. Good video, buddy. All right, and Mr. T, as always, thank you for joining.
Yeah, man. Sorry I came in late. I'm sure I stretched this thing out another 40 minutes.
Coming
late, but yeah, I had a good time.
And I hope you come back. I appreciate you coming. King Grimpachi, as always.
Thanks for having me on, and yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, and you come back as always. And a League of Winning, which is Optimus Prime.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm sorry we didn't get to the 3DO, but maybe next week we'll be able to cover that.
And I hope you come back as always. Until next time, guys. Thank you, YouTube.